everyone. We are
Now you can wave.
We are literally at the 1 year anniversary, March 11th.
Hey.
I gotta post this tonight because I just want it to hit on that day. It's super late though.
It is late. I'm pretty tired.
It's okay as long as it's bookmarked by today. We just had a 45-minute podcast on coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Yeah, well, that took all of our time talking about coronavirus.
Serious business.
We had to spike our anxiety before we talk about anxiety, right?
1 year.
But 1 year of podcasting
Cheers.
brought Bob back.
Brought the whiskey.
Cheers in
bourbon
some
back.
Yep.
Eagle
Human
Rare.
contact.
Eagle Rare
We
is
all got it.
the best bourbon.
Cheers, man. 1 year of every week, one episode, man.
Maybe I'll
Hard
start,
work.
Maybe I'll start washing my hands in bourbon. Kill everything.
Oh, dude, that's so good. I brought Proper 12, but I'm glad we're sipping that instead.
Man, that's smooth.
Tastes like burning.
So smooth.
Tastes like burning. This is pretty good. Proper 12 was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was good.
Yeah,
shit.
but this is way better sipping stuff,
Yeah.
especially when it's warm. We're lowering our immune systems before Corona gets into our lungs.
Dude, I feel like almost to the point where this mass hysteria, I'd be like, dude, just give me a bagel that somebody bit into that has coronavirus so I can fight it off, or I'll just go away.
That's not how it works.
That's what Andrea says. She wants it to.
She wants.
Yeah,
She
just
wants
give
it to
me.
come-
That's what a vaccine is, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's like,
And then
she wants it to come
I'll make my
through
own. I'll
San
make my own
Diego.
vaccine internally
Internally.
if I survive.
That's kind of as crazy as that
Everyone-
sounds. It's probably better. Like Andrea wants it to just come through San Diego. Fuck
It's
every-
here right now. It's
But
in
like, no,
Miramar.
but like, you know, just run through the whole fucking city, and then you're good. But until then, you're just always on edge, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna get it. Like when I got fucking swine flu, I was good. I went through hell, and then I'm back, and then from there on out,
That's what I was asking.
everyone's all scared and shit.
It just
I'm
goes away.
Yep, and that's
And I'm like,
that's the benefit though, right?
There's
Once
never
you-
like there's a cure for it now, and then
Okay.
it never comes back. Like what the fuck?
They have antibodies forever, apparently. I don't know.
Oh man.
Here we
My
go.
anxiety got so high.
Dude, I just want
like,
to be able to go to Costco for some little things and not spend 45 minutes.
on the line.
I just went Monday. It was fine, but obviously the paper towels and water bottles. Oh no, water was back again. Like people were getting Kirkland ones because I think people are realizing like, okay, we don't need water. Like I could get that anywhere or get a Brita.
Yeah.
But like the toilet paper and paper towels still gone. Target, there was no hand soap, and then the lady was like, you could do like, did you see that aloe vera and maybe hand sanitizer together for soap? And then the guy was like, yeah, we're out of that too, like because they Googled how to make your own hand soap,
So dumb.
and they were like, yeah, it's
Get the
gone.
hell out of here, dude. I ain't making my own hand soap.
Someone was it Joe Rogan that said all those zombie apocalypse people are
Yeah.
like, fucking told you, like now you all want to come over.
Yeah, always. I've been
Fuck.
calling it.
I've been calling this.
Now you want to get in my bunker.
Now the preppers,
Yeah.
the ones they make fun of on those shows, and now you're like, see?
Bob, do you secretly have one of those?
Like,
I feel like
no.
you're a huge conspiracy theorist.
Well, I find conspiracy theories very interesting.
Yeah, I know. My anxiety's through the roof right now
I'm
from
also
sitting
a
here with you.
conspiracy theorist, but like I don't act on it.
Yeah, I'm acting on it. I'm listening to Bob.
Yeah.
I'll never do any hallucinogen around you in my life.
I don't.
I
even-
can't
I
take
don't-
it because my mind's already out there. I need to be able to
We were joking about having
bring it
edibles.
back in.
There's no
Bob would
way.
be like, you ever think there's a third universe or some shit? And I'll be like, I can't sleep now, man.
Dude, like
I
that,
think Ian's having a heart attack.
like that bad trip of salvia I took.
You what?
I went to like a different dimension. And
Let's
then
talk
it was
about
like,
that.
And he's never been the same.
Let's talk about
That was
that.
like brutal.
That was the one that just hits hard for like a minute, and then
But
goes.
you probably feel like
was, it was like,
Was someone watching you?
yeah. Luckily there were people there.
How old were you?
Oh man, I think I was still in high school at the time.
Yeah.
And I took out
Yeah.
a water bong, which was even more
Fat.
intense.
Yeah.
And then
Quicker too.
like I remember it so vividly. It was behind my friend's head, like just like tie-dye Technicolor, like sun, just boom. Like where I was just sitting there going like,
Yeah.
what's this? And it just kept on getting bigger, and everything was in color.
Yeah.
It was kind of like what can I attribute it to? Have you ever seen Roger Rabbit?
Yeah.
When everything, like
Yeah.
you have the real, but then you have the animated.
Right.
It was kind of like that, but everything was so vivid. And then
Another dimension, dude.
everything was turning, so I tried to right myself. So I was going like this too.
You're leaning.
Yeah, I was leaning like because I thought that was the right thing to do at the time. Well, anyway, everything was going great until somebody opened the sliding glass door of his house, and it startled me.
Yeah.
And then.
And
then you couldn't get out.
Yeah, and then I couldn't get out of the
But I thought
trip went.
that one only lasts a minute, or was that weed?
No, weed doesn't last a minute.
Salvia is like the.
It's supposed to be like you can buy like.
You got it
multipliers
at the
of
gas.
LSD.
Did you buy it like at the gas station? Remember, it was like.
God, I don't know where we got it.
We watched a guy do it, and we just got it at the gas station. I remember.
You get like 45 times LSD or like what? Like I don't know.
Why was that legal?
Yeah,
There was like a weird dosage amount to it that they said it's legal.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, all these like 18-year-old kids are effing themselves up. So like, let's not do that anymore.
Yeah, because after the trip went south, I just remember running up and down the hallway, and then I sat down on the couch, and then I would rock back and forth, and I'd be like, and somebody was sitting right next to me, and I was like, dude, I'm not okay, I'm not okay, I'm not okay, I'm not okay, and then I would run again.
Yeah, it looked like someone was watching you.
And I remember holding like this large pillow. And I was rocking back and forth in it because my legs started to hurt. My legs started to hurt, and then for some reason in my mind it popped up like, you know what? I can cut the pain out of my legs. And I was like, no, that's not good.
That sounds like some bath salt shit.
Yeah.
Let's
so
cut my legs open.
And
I think it's comparable, dude.
I thought it lasted half an hour, but he said I was just down for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I won't come down. The pain.
We're at a park, and my friend was like foaming at the mouth, man.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like 2 minutes, and he was like, dude, that felt like 3 hours.
Of hell.
Of hell. Yeah, he wanted out.
There's people that I grew up with and stuff, like, they've never been the same. Like, you literally can go crazy off of a bad trip.
Well, because it's like that. It's microdosed like that, and it's so intense for so short period. But like if you,
the intensity's real.
Yeah.
In their head.
Right.
So the trauma's real.
But if you talk to people that are more educated about it, and they use it properly, controlled.
That's not the. No one does it that way.
Yeah. Some do. Like my buddy like hikes out in the woods and does that with his friends and stuff. I'm like, you microdose shrooms and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and he's like, you got to do it. It opens up your mind. It opens up. It reduce your anxiety because you have to go through trauma in your past and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm good, dude.
Wait, so I gotta ramp up my anxiety to get through my anxiety.
Exactly.
And then you relive the anxiety because you're in shrooms.
Yes. But he's like, you learn to like work through it and embrace it like while you're tripping. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Now you open up your mind, some bad shit can come back in. That's what I'm saying.
If done incorrectly.
If you open the wrong doors too.
There's that. Because they have a ton of research on that for PTSD for vets. Like psilocybin. Like they're gonna try to do that for.
No, I do believe that it's
an
so
actual
powerful
cure for PTSD. Yeah.
And that's what MDMA, ecstasy was used for in the past, was for therapy.
Right.
Therapy sessions, and I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Really?
That family were like bickering, cousin, brother, things like that, and then they did ecstasy together. They like kind of talked it out, like I love you, man, and cried it out type of deal, and then they've been great ever since type of deal. Like it works. I've seen it happen.
I think people with anxiety probably just stay away though, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
There's certain things that don't cause hallucinogens, like ecstasy. I think that's.
You do talk to those people, and they're just like, you just kick back and learn to enjoy it and relax. And I'm like, I'm just not relaxed going into it. So if you go into it with the wrong mindset, you're coming out. You're not good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be enjoyable.
I think it's more. That's why it's like for drugs are for younger people in terms of that. Because you don't have.
Or you can get older and smarter and use them properly.
No, you already have so much emotional baggage
right.
as an adult. That's why anxiety hits
true.
people when they're older, when like 30s and above,
Yeah.
You gotta deal with the real shit.
Yeah. So right when you probably do, you're trying to.
And still,
you can't chill the fuck out, right? You can't just. Like, I can't smoke some weed and hang out. You already have like 5,000 things running through your head.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you can attest to this because I always thought like, oh, well, if you like have kids and stuff, like maybe that will change your focus, right? Like, oh, I'm working for them now. I'm not working for myself and my own. I was like, or the opposite. Now I have kids to worry about, anxiety spikes. I have to work harder because of that, and then like I'm worried about work more because I can't fail for my kids or something.
Yeah.
So it's like the opposite can happen.
No, it makes it definitely worse.
Is that how it goes?
I think so.
Well, I feel like sometimes the anxiety trick is because of that, like you were saying, because I can't have a scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you're more predisposed to have one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't just be like, you know what, I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown right now and everybody's gonna be okay with it. You can't say that in society.
Right.
I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown right now and everybody's just gonna be okay with it. That's not the case.
Right.
So you're just and then pew.
And this is how alcoholism starts. Is talking coronavirus. I was like, my anxiety's spiking. I'm just gonna drink whiskey. It goes away.
Because this bourbon's really good.
Dude, it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Who got you this, by the way?
We have this on stock.
When did you first drink it? Where did we find it? First time? I forget that story.
Just Bevmo?
I think it's probably Pam and Garrett when we went down to 7
grand?
7 grand.
Yeah. That's the first time you had it?
I don't think so.
Shit. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
I don't know if I've ever drank this with you.
I think Pam and Garrett, they're my alcohol connoisseurs that help
I don't
me
think I
out.
ever drank it with you. I've been wanting to try it. I've heard of it.
Eagle Rare, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
And it's at Bevmo, right?
Pretty,
You're
Yep, it's at
saying?
Bevmo now.
And it's not.
good.
It's relatively
It's
a decent price.
Yeah, it's inexpensive.
Yeah.
though it just makes me hot.
Yeah.
That's
All
any alcohol.
bourbon does that to me. Yeah, I get real sweaty. That's why it was like, I'm wearing shorts. It's cold outside, and I'm like, I'm gonna drink whiskey.
Yeah, I was like, I
I'll
should
be
bring a
fine.
jacket. And I'm like, nah, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
And I want to kind of feel cold. It's nice once in a while, you know?
Yeah. You can feel your body fighting off viruses.
Telling you, dude.
I can't get my mind away from
Start
it.
licking the gutters. Yeah.
Oh, I just touched my eye. Shit.
See, that's the thing is, wouldn't you want to just get it, like, rip the Band-Aid? Just take it on the coronavirus now, knock it out. It might even be a short.
It just sucks that now that two celebrities get it. I mean, Tom Hanks is old, but then the athlete, you're like, you gotta assume he's in better shape than us. He plays professional basketball. 80 games a year.
Time out. That's not true because, you know.
He could be stressed.
Well, the thing is, we're talking health in terms of like, let's say
system.
Let's say nutrition.
Healthy people still get the flu.
But then athleticism and
He
health.
might not get pneumonia. He's gonna have the flu.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
What I learned in college from one of my professors was like, athletes are the most unhealthy people.
Yeah.
Because if you look at any
That makes
athlete's
sense.
diet, we just had an episode on carnivore.
Right.
Talk about inflammation, all this other shit. Athletes eat like garbage because they're feeling the amount of training. They're in season. They're
Think about the
pros.
travel.
They travel a lot, so none of these athletes can live a healthy lifestyle because they just won't be able to perform that way.
Right.
It's impossible. They can't eat a carnivore diet and be a pro NBA player. It's impossible.
What LeBron has talked about where he has to eat meals on the plane, so he's had a food prep because he's like, yeah, they'll give us top of the line cuisine
But it's
on
still
the plane.
like shitty carbs and whatever.
Shit, right.
Yep.
So he was like, if I'm on this diet, I have to eat like anti-inflammatory diet. I have to eat it, like pack it myself. Like you always see him walking on the plane, like those planes with like some bag in his hand with food probably, because they're like, you got to plan it out. You can't just survive off what the team gives you because it's impossible.
Michael Jordan got the flu.
Yeah, but
He scored probably 40
Was it
points in that
coronavirus,
game. But that's the thing is like it's so many people are gonna get the flu and then they're gonna relate it as, oh my god.
I'm so lucky Marie got the flu like a month ago. I was just like, it would be a completely different ball game if she got it like
You're
last
going
week.
in there with like a mask on, like
Dude, I already quarantined her then.
You're like throwing food at her. Get away from me.
And it worked. I was like, you stay in this room. Here's your laptop.
I'll take the
I was
dogs.
like, go. Yeah, I was like, I'll take the dogs. I got everything. Like, here's your food. Come to the fridge, grab it. Don't touch anything. Here's a silverware. Like, just like if you touch silverware, like put it in the sink. Don't worry about it. And she did for like 2 days. Even the third day, she's like, I'm feeling better. I was like, I'm gonna do one more night on the couch. I'll feel better. I'll feel better about it.
Andrew's mom
Didn't get it.
bought a tent, and she's like, anyone that gets sick has to stay outside of the
I
tent. She's for
That's
real.
smart.
She's for real about that. Get out.
I told her, like, stay in this living room, and then when she was feeling better on the third day, I was like, wash everything. Like, just bleach the floors, wash everything, and I went back in the fourth night. I didn't get it. I didn't even feel kind of under the weather. But Miles will say that I'm super immune because I Wim Hof.
There's gotta, that's the whole point with the science. They injected that endotoxin in them,
I'm gonna Wim Hof
and then
every day. You think it'll fix it? Or make us super immune?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Wouldn't you rather do things that are like health benefits, like Wim Hof and things like that, to ramp up and boost the immune system and cut out all carbs and sugar for the
Right.
time being,
Right.
than to be in line for fucking 3 hours at Costco buying toilet paper?
Right. Well,
Wouldn't you want to
I don't know now because, like we were talking about it a little bit, if you go like from standard American diet right to carnivore, your body's gonna go. You know, it's gonna flip.
They're gonna shit themselves and
No,
go.
you can have the keto flu, and it might throw you off.
Like immune system wise, your body's in all sorts of a
I can't stop shitting myself. I better go get tested.
So I'm just like, I don't know. But they didn't even want you to go to the hospital, dude. Like you're supposed to go there when you're feeling weird, but you can't go when you're feeling weird because you have to self-quarantine.
The guy on Joe Rogan said, like, the people he's most worried about, which is 90% of America, is like, or not 90%, but, you know, obese, diabetic, poor diet, stress,
conditions. Yeah, you have health issues,
asthma. Mm-hmm. He was like, that's who we should be concerned can get this, immunosuppressed people. And he was like, how many people do you know that are obese and eating a poor diet, stressed at work, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
but, right, playing devil's advocate, those are the same warnings as last year for the flu season.
For the flu season, yeah.
It's like if you're younger, you're older, you have, you're diabetic. You know, just like whatever. It's the same warnings that.
But the scary part is like kids. They're like schools are fine. Kids are like carriers, like Bob was saying, but they're not getting it. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, teachers aren't getting it, at least yet. And then pregnant women too. They were saying are fine. Which those are like the first two audiences that are like, oh, and elderly. But the elderly are getting it. God. Anybody 65 and over? I saw this guy earlier. He's like 70 something. I think he just turned 70 because he just had his big family gathering for it. And he takes like a drug that makes him immunosuppressed. And I was like, you don't have any flights, right? Like just please tell me you're not going anywhere. He's like, I don't do anything. No, I'm not. I'm like, good. Yeah, you should probably stay inside for a bit, man.
Yeah, if I'm 70, I'm just chilling.
But he's also kind of like, man, if I get it and die, I'm 70.
I'm more along that line. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna stop doing what I like.
I'm 40 years younger than him.
You talk about anxiety and living life scared and whatnot. I'm, whatever.
Fucking Corona. Drink more Igor.
Who gives a shit?
Right.
Life is.
Here we go. We spun off on that shit again. It's hard not to.
Yeah, because it's the now.
It's right now.
Fuck, dude. It is right now. I'm terrified. You know what else is right now? Bob's haircut. When did that happen? That is nice.
Nope. Friday. Tuesday?
You went undercut? You sexy bitch.
Was it Jonah? Our jiu-jitsu buddy?
You saw him?
See? Yeah. Jonah hooked it up, bro.
I'm nervous. No offense, Jonah. I'm just nervous. I don't like friends cutting my hair. I don't see Dulce either. I want to stay friends.
That's fair. Cause
you fuck it up, and then what am I gonna do?
You use the other dude.
Who?
I forget.
Oh, Sammy.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The owner. He retired.
He retired?
Yeah, he's not doing anything anymore.
Why? Do you know?
Because he doesn't need to.
Good for him.
Yeah.
No, I went to Pappy's. Poway. Have you seen it? Next to Wingstop.
Dude, I shave
you don't
my
get
head,
haircuts, so.
And or I just keep growing it out like I do now.
You should.
I for like many years, I go to the one in Poway and Windchills, like the barber shop, Sam's, and it's like it used to be $5, now it's $6, now it's probably $8, $10. But I'd say the same thing. Hey, like 2 on the side, short, and kind of like spike the top, and then.
See, you can see Noah.
And. Jonah,
fuck. Why do I always do that?
It's cool.
He looks like a Noah, dude.
He looks like a Noah. But then every time I walked out of there, I got a different haircut. Like I said,
really?
This is my game I played, and it was always slightly fucked up.
Yeah. But that's what you get what you pay for. Yeah, how much was Jonah?
$23.
Yeah, see?
That's the issue is that like we go to our Asian barbers,
right?
And the Asian barbers usually like $5, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you get what you get. That's why you never complain.
Right.
You never
My guy was
shit.
$25 cash only, $5 tip, $30. But I walked out of there like $1 million, dude.
Yeah.
And beard, which I'm like letting it get nasty for him, so he can actually line it up all nice.
Yeah.
Same price, $25. I was like, I'll tip him more though, because it takes, it's a art. It takes to line it up. It takes so much time.
Yeah.
So.
Asians don't deal with facial hair. It's like, line this up. Like,
can you get my Fu Manchu here?
Yeah. Can you pluck this one strand?
Pluck it.
I will get like one little hair, just like
I'm sad Bob gave up on his beard, but
no,
you can do an undercut.
But he had a nice curly stash thing.
I didn't approve of that at all. I like the beard. I told you, look, it's still there. You just let it go.
I know it's still there, but it gets weird and itchy.
I told you, beard oil. You got to do maintenance, dude. Yeah. Jonah. See, I thought I said it wrong.
How much
Jonah
have you had to drink? Jeez.
Dude, 2 sips. That's it. Jonah will, like, when you get it thick again and it starts getting like that little chipmunk, like I was talking about, around the cheeks, he'll line it up. And then they give you tips, dude. They'll be like, dude, you just gotta brush it, line it up right here along the jawline.
Dude, you won't get choked out in jiu-jitsu if you have a gnarly beard. It's
There's
facts.
that, too.
It's facts.
It just
And
actually.
that's why I cut my hair, because my hair was being pulled out when I got choked.
Ooh. Bob wants to take it that way.
Wait,
Whoa.
huh?
Whoa.
Wait, huh? What you and Jonah do.
Yeah.
You can
Where
take
did you
that,
and Jonah
you
do?
can take that and run with it anyway.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, because it's true on both accounts. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice. Dude. Can I talk about what Leo was doing yesterday?
Sure, if you like to.
Dude, it was awesome. It was
He
fucking
took
awesome.
it. I wasn't there, but it sounds like he took it straight to Brazil training.
It was so Brazil. That's why I was like so sad you guys weren't there for it, because I was like, whoa, like what's happening right now? But then I was like, this is so mild to him, and he's laughing, but then his wife was like, she's like, I'm so nervous right now. Like so innocent.
Yeah.
She's in the background like, I'm really, really nervous right now. And I was like, oh shit. But he was taking his belt and he's trying to show us how a lapel needs to work for a choke. So his
Like the mechanics of a choke type
which
thing?
I've never been taught before. I've been so bad at lapel chokes because I just don't get it.
I talk about the blade and
Right.
yeah.
So he took his belt first and showed us like how a blade of a knife would work, and he was showing how the lapel needs to act like a blade of the knife, and he was showing like how it twists, and he's like, you would cut a throat like this and not jam it straight in, and I was like, that's exactly what I do in a lapel
Time out.
choke.
Let's go back to that the example of, hey, you know when you cut a throat, like
So we're all sitting there like.
everyone looks at each other probably like, wait, go back,
So he's
go,
holding
go
his
back.
he's
go
holding his
back.
black belt like by the end of it, right? So it's just the edge, and he's like this is a knife, and then you're cutting a throat like this, and we're all like, sure, yeah, like sitting there like,
we all get that reference.
of course we've all seen.
Of course we grew
He's
up.
all, you know, like the Halloween movies, and we're like, yeah.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Halloween. Not-
Sure.
Oh.
And then he starts demonstrating the chokes, and you're like, dude, that makes a lot of sense. You do, I know I do. Once he showed the example, you just jam the lapel into the neck rather than slice,
Yeah.
and then take the other lapel and slice. And so he was showing us how to grip it, blah blah blah, and he just goes, oh, right in the middle of it, puts a finger up, and he's like, oh, I know, and then he just like walks out of the room, right in the middle of showing a fucking move, and Dan goes, he's got a fucking knife. He's got a fucking knife, huh? And he comes back, dude, and I'm not. I'm thinking he's bringing a little pocket knife. He brings his big ass blade in, like this big.
Yeah.
And he's got the cover on it. And he shows you how sharp it is. Where it's like, see? And we're like, oh shit. And then Nick's sitting there like, what the fuck? So he puts the cover back on and he starts demonstrating it again. And the whole time we're all just like sitting there, like dead silent, like.
That's like
It was great.
That's where the benefit of like they tell you where even like the Kid Dale stuff, right, for jiu-jitsu. When you put a story and emotional connection to something you're learning, you'll learn it like 800 times faster. Like science, right?
Best explanation I've ever heard on.
Because you're never
lapel
gonna
choke.
fucking forget this experience.
No.
Versus the 18 steps you need or 10 steps the like perfect lapel choke. You're gonna remember this
Dude.
story, and you're gonna have like such a better lapel.
I've been taught chokes like that from the first day ever of
Yeah.
training, like till now, and I was just
put
like
your
sitting there
hand
like,
here, put your hand there. You pull or you push. And
never
you
got. I
squeeze.
don't think I've ever got anybody to tap to a choke.
That's where
Just never got it down.
that Kid Dale thing's pretty cool, and then like that's how Leo teaches. He tells so many stories.
Really.
And then, but like this one now, you're never gonna forget it.
Oh, dude, it was the best. I was like, this
You
is
will never
some
forget.
Brazil shit right now. I just like halfway through it, it was like kind of serious, and he kept going, and I started laughing like
Because
nonstop because I was like, what is happening?
This can't be real.
I don't feel like I'm here right now. And that's what you were asking, like how the class was, and it was like so kicked back like that. By the end of it, I was just like, this is amazing. Like this was worth, after a long busy day, this was the best end to my day. It was awesome.
Ian's gonna be cutting throats with lapels.
Oh
from here on
man,
out.
it was great. And then he like just tosses it behind him towards the door, and then his wife like walks up and like grabs it and goes and puts it away. She comes back, she's like, and everyone's like, thank you. Like, oh
She's
shit.
like, Leo, this
She's
is
like,
not Brazil.
Yeah. They had a talk for sure.
You
later.
guys
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
And he's doing his loud ass laugh, it's like a little sinister too, and you're just like,
He's probably
the
like,
best, man.
back in my day, they actually tried to cut your throat and you have to fight it. We're like, geez, we're not. No, man.
They didn't have covers.
Time,
What?
Times have
We didn't
changed.
have covers. We would show this with a real. I mean, that
He's
thing
like, you
was
see
like,
this scar? Like,
it was like so thick. And then Dang started taking pictures, so she has some. She's been scared to post it to the group. She'll text it to you if you want.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Leo's like, can I post this? I was like, probably scare some white folks.
That's where we're like, to the group,
Yeah,
public, probably not, man.
Probably
It's
not.
probably not gonna work very well for you.
probably not. There's something to it though, where it's kind of nice.
Self-defense. Post that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking that.
it's
It actually might be good to be like, hey, we're not fucking around here.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you need real application. What's the point?
yeah,
I don't know. It's too much.
Leo's so fucking nice and laughs. Like his laugh makes you like, oh shit. But then also comfortable comfort at the same time.
He's so animated.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like everything he does is 100%.
Yeah.
You know.
Kind of like when he says like,
Yeah.
we're about to roll, you're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Like you like your stomach hurts, but then you laugh with him at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You feel the emotion for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I go like, I am gonna die, and then you go, no, I'm fine, he's fine.
Yeah.
And then you go,
No, I'm
you
kind
stop again and go, wait, am I dying?
Yeah. Yeah. Am I okay?
Am I okay?
How many times we have Leo on the podcast?
Twice. The last one was so much better in terms.
No,
we,
three. No, twice.
Yeah, 3 times?
I thought
Did
it
you
was 3.
No, we had him once for the first time,
When he was at Gracie.
Gracie Power,
And then the
then
second one was for
time
the-
was the launch of Campello, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was 3 too.
Did we have one in the? No, there was. But the second one was crazy. I was thinking about that episode recently. It's funny because I was thinking of the stories he was telling,
Yeah,
and I was like, he had 2 different intentions on those podcasts, right? He was promoting an old gym, and he gave us the history of Gracie. So then we brought him on this one, just like, hey, just promote Leo and give us your background this time. And he had a fucking another bunch of stories. He can go for days.
yeah. You don't come on Saturdays, but Saturdays end up being
Same.
we do the open mat and rolling, but then at the end it's like just hanging out, watching like the old timer tell stories.
Dude, you have to have that though.
It's amazing.
He's a 4th degree.
Yeah.
He's been a black belt for like 20 years.
Yeah.
That's insane. So yeah, you need
The
like a little
accessibility, too.
craziness.
The accessibility of like that's what Bob and I always talk about is like he's so accessible because our group's small that when we need any type of we have questions on things and he tells it with stories and the wealth of knowledge. It's like it's
Right.
amazing. And so it's we lucked out in our opinion.
I feel
it's like
fucking so privileged.
because most jiu-jitsu academies, because they're big name, like a
Yeah.
Keenan or Atos, things like that. It's like how many minutes do you get to interact with Keenan or Galval like individually? I'm not sure, but I'm obviously because of the amount of students.
That's what I'm saying is like I've had him on the podcast twice. Before I joined the gym, I was like, can I grab a coffee and just talk with you about joining? Like I just want to know. I've never joined a new gym. Just want to know your philosophy on like I've trained before and I come over.
You already had a blue belt, so
I already have a blue belt. Can I bring it in? I'll start over. I don't care, whatever you think. And he was like, yeah, I'll meet you at like Starbucks tomorrow this time. And we showed up. He was there early. Like we just shot the shit for like an hour. And then I'm like, then there's that guy. And then there was last night telling stories. And he was like, what the fuck? It feels like 5 different people.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's so weird.
No, it's cool. We gotta, and I think every month his English is getting way better.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time we had him on, it was like
That's true.
his English was not there yet because he just kind of came over,
That's a good point. I
And
didn't think
so
about that.
last time it was way better ready, but now that he's coaching and telling so many stories consistently, like he's gonna be one of those like Joe Rogan, right? They just have repeat guests like Brandon Schaub.
Oh yeah, dude. We could think of a million topics.
Just him explaining the old school Valley Pseudo days, like that's just mind blowing. Like the MMA
That was
before
fun.
MMA, like we could.
Well, you guys got him to do FixFit stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
So if
that was-
he
Yeah,
actually
that.
follows through with it, he's like, I just hate lifting weights.
Yeah, he was
Jiu-Jitsu's so
dying.
easy.
Yeah, he was dying off of like one drill. It's
Yeah.
great, but I'm afraid he's gonna like retaliate on open mat. They're like, all right, we killed you on sleds.
Yep.
He's like, let's roll now. Oh fuck.
But like being that warm, animated person, it takes the stigma of his black belt away.
Right.
Because sometimes you walk into a, you walk into a new gym or whatever. You have the black belt.
Right.
You're like, wow.
Yeah, like
But
they're on a
but
pedestal.
that's-
They're
yeah,
on a pedestal
yeah,
because
but
they're the black belt.
Leo's the
let's
first
say.
one to come up to you and be like,
That's what's crazy. When I said he's 4th degree, like, because when he's teaching, I'll just like stare at his belt. Sometimes I'll be like, "There's fucking 4 stripes on there, dude. That's like 20-year black belt."
So we learned
amazing.
the other day. I think
And you guys
it was
eating
Cap was
fucking
telling
steak with him.
Cap was telling us
Yeah.
like
Chill.
you get
Yeah.
your black belt, right? And
Yeah.
then if you start teaching, if you don't teach, you don't get any more stripes.
No, yeah.
So then he was saying that the first 3 stripes, minimum of 3 years each stripe.
Yeah.
And then it's 5 years per stripe after that. So that, I mean, think about that. That's
the red.
That's a long time just to be teaching that long just
Yeah.
to earn your
Yeah.
stripes. Like,
But
talk
same
about-
between him and Miles, because you start talking to Miles and then like when I rolled with him and then watch them both interact.
That's
like-
really cool when Miles and Leo kind of.
I was like, I should pay money to sit here and like or pay for a ticket to be like, I just want to hear you guys have your own. That's what we should do. Put both of them on the podcast.
Oh, top
Dude.
jujitsu.
Ooh.
Old, like kind of new school, old school, because Miles is like that next gen,
'Cause-
obviously from the U.S. and competitor.
That day Miles took Leo's class. I was like, I feel like, was Miles even really there? Like, he's an enigma, dude. Like, he's just like floating there, and then rolling with him. I'm like, you're just like, I felt like I rolled with 5 people because he's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're a fucking chimpanzee. But also I didn't feel any pressure. I'm like, he didn't even try to fuck me up. And I felt like I was rolling 5 people at once. I had no idea how to control or stop him from moving. And then I was just like, and then he just humbled it and then left. And I was like, what happened tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened today? I just showed up to like a normal Thursday night. And I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Such a sweet thing you got going on right now.
Yeah, like the group, the camaraderie, the group, the thing that we're building.
That's what you've talked about from day one, though. Like, just building that
Integrate.
team.
I mean, that's why like CrossFit became such a cult type of mindset, and the community. Every fucking gym and whatever now claims community or whatever, but CrossFit really started that movement.
Mm-hmm.
Going from the bodybuilding era, 24-hour fitness, global gyms and stuff, like everyone worked out by themselves, or you might have one bro.
Mm-hmm.
But when CrossFit came in, they really integrated that community thing. You strip away all titles, and it doesn't matter if you're a CEO or janitor or whatever.
It's just like Bob said, you can't tell Leo's a 4th degree or
and so when
Miles
like,
has beaten high-level black belts on televised events. Like,
It's
you
like-
would never know that.
No.
Miles and Leo and all of us are hanging out together on a random open mat and stuff, it's like everyone's just, and that's how it should be. And so we're really trying to integrate all of the fucking golden nuggets of what CrossFit should be, in a sense, with the community aspect.
Totally.
And then putting it all into the jiu-jitsu world. Not saying that jiu-jitsu doesn't have it, but because of the natural pecking order of the belts, I think that causes there's the benefit,
Mm-hmm.
because that gives you something to
hierarchy.
strive for.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's an immediate hierarchy. It's like a football team when you go to college,
Right.
or wrestling. You're a fucking freshman. You're gonna get
Right.
hazed. You got the fucking seniors that run the shit.
Mhm.
That's kind of how jiu-jitsu has a little bit of that.
Got to get your ass whooped a little.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're
It's
trying
humbling,
we're
dude.
trying to strip that, but also keep all the traditions. That's why it's cool when you get Miles, who's like more new age, and then you get Leo, who's pure tradition. But they can all kind of speak the same language and fucking hang out together. It's
Right.
super, super unique.
It's really fascinating when they communicate with each other. It's like, I don't even know, like, because when I left, I was like, I gotta tell Bob and Mark, and then I started typing shit, and I was like, I don't even know how
you
to
saw.
fucking
You're not gonna
translate
do it
what just,
justice.
I was like, I don't even know how to translate what just happened. It's really interesting stuff.
That's been a bit.
Yeah.
That's been a big journey too. Like, because Bob's been around for forever with FixFit and CrossFit too. But like, you see the kind of the evolution within the last year of just how we've tried to dabble in jiu-jitsu
Mm-hmm.
and training, strength training, and CrossFit and FixFit. We've had like FixFit for jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
right? We've done some of those Saturdays and Sundays, and then now we actually have our own jiu-jitsu dojo. And then now, even like the other day, me and you were testing out like FixFit for jiu-jitsu when we're actually training full time.
But then it's weird when you step
It's
into
like-
Leo's dojo, you're like it's your fucking, like, your old office space, right?
For real,
And we
right?
step into his dojo,
Yeah,
and you just like submit to like I'm just gonna like that's how I felt yesterday. The best way to put it. Walked in and went. I told you like random group, and I was like, this is the most random group I've ever trained with, and I just submitted to it. Like I've had a long fucking day, and I'm just gonna sit here and listen, learn, and it like halfway, like 45 minutes into it, I was like, how did 45 minutes just go by?
Yeah.
I didn't do much, wasn't sweating much, and I was just like, I learned a ton, and then we rolled a little at the end. It's whatever. But by the end of it, I was like, dude, I feel so fucking good. And all I did was just be a student. You know, you kind of check out.
Well, it's because, like, when I started with CrossFit Sun, the community aspect, because Mark has always pressed the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then coming in as a new person, coming in from the regular Globos or wherever you're working out, whatever, like he said, everybody kind of presses, community where like this,
Right.
So you come in, you're still skeptical. You're just like, oh, well, CrossFit seems kind of crazy, but
Right.
These people are kind of weird.
yeah, kind of fun too. Everybody's kind of wearing bright colors and what the fuck's going on?
Right.
Shouting,
Geared up.
Yeah, everybody's like.
Bob still has his black eyelashes and just
everybody's half naked, and you're just like, what the hell is this awesomeness happening right now?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, as I continue to go, it really actually manifested in a place that I could really hang my hat, and it turned into more than a community. It's like I was home.
Right.
And then now that Leo's here,
you feel that starting all over again?
Yeah, I feel it all. Like from what I can start with the CrossFit or vice versa, and then it's just going to be another place I can hang my hat, and I'm going to be able to learn as much as possible from a man that's going to teach me everything he knows. As much as I can learn anyway, because
that's where the worlds will have to collide, and Leo will have to come train.
Yeah.
More
so
FixFit.
Here's a question for both of you guys, because we've all been through different jiu-jitsu instructors and facilities. So how would you guys define the difference of like what we have going on with Capello Jiu-Jitsu versus like what you experienced in the past? It might be a loaded question, which
I don't think so.
But I think it's kind
very
of
cut and dry.
because it is a huge difference. It's kind of like when you walked into CrossFit, you just thought it was a gym, but when you actually experience it and live it, and then now you tell someone, it's like it's a whole different experience. So like, what would you say, Bob, like is different from when you went to, let's say, a different jiu-jitsu gym to now Leo's Capello Jiu-Jitsu gym,
Well, I have thought about this, just random thoughts in my head already. And one huge glaring thing always pops up is when I trained at other gyms, I always felt that I had to get to a certain point before I could learn. Like I needed to, like maybe too long of proving myself, or I needed to get to a specific rank or like blue, or
you have to earn your purpose, or
that's
like
exactly what I was going to say.
And then I had to I don't know about prove, but show them that
it's because you got thrown into the fire.
Yeah. So, but
typically at those places.
But going with Leo and Capello Jiu-Jitsu is like when I walk in there, my mindset is I'm soaking it all up from the beginning. No matter where my interests lie, no matter how much experience I have, I'm in there and I'm learning from the. I'm not trying to get somewhere and then I can learn.
That's kind of true, but if you look at any like social sport in a sense, like I remember back in the day in the basketball world, like pickup games, like it's kind of shitty, but you do have to earn your keep. Yeah. And then you have to go, like, you don't get picked when you go to pickup games. No one knows you. That's even in the gym, right? This is my bench station, and I've been coming with my boys for fucking every day at 6 p.m. And then
then you got to get thrown in the fire and just grab the bench on your own one day and fucking go for it.
And then keep showing up. Right. Until someone gives you, like, hey, bro, what's your name, Right.
It's 100%. And there's none of that at Leo's.
Yeah, but I also think that it changed. I think we still have a little bit of that, even at CrossFit Sun and at Capello Jiu-Jitsu. But what I find is that you're giving the new people a chance. Like if I see somebody new and they want to quote unquote my bench or whatever I've been, I'll be like, yeah, you want to work out? Let's work out. Yeah. It's not like you have to prove yourself
before you can get on my bench.
Arbitrary,
the invitation's first.
Yeah. But I'm like, hey, dude, come on.
It's still on them.
I mean, let's work out, and you're going to go, like Leo says, he's not going to carry you.
Right, and that's why Leo's gym is so addicting for newer people that have signed up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they walk in like,
Yeah.
fuck, and then it just eases immediately, and they go,
Yeah.
oh shit, I just learned a shit ton, and I go to bed, I can't stop thinking about it. I wake up the next morning and do it again. And it's fun, and I'm not getting hurt, and like it just keeps moving on from there.
Dude, like CrossFit Sun, and then, you know,
CrossFit Sun's the same way.
Is, you know, they make you feel successful even if you fail.
Mm-hmm.
And that's golden. That's golden anywhere.
It's a good
What
one.
I learned
you know
from
what, I had the worst possible day, but I still leave and I've learned something, and I still feel successful.
Well,
exactly
I'm
how
gonna come back. I'm coming back.
best way to put it.
I learned from Leo because it was one of those Saturdays again. He's like, you don't lose in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I roll an open mat, I can't get out of my head. I'm competitive. So if someone sweeps me, passes me, or same thing like in CrossFit, for even to this day, if I don't get a relatively good score, if I don't hit my deadlift numbers I kind of feel like I should hit, then I do feel like I lost, right?
Right.
Even to this day. But like how Leo simplified it, was like, you don't lose in jiu-jitsu. Even if you did a comp, you lost, you got submitted, whatever. But he's like, you go back to your jiu-jitsu studio, your professor asks them, hey dude, what the fuck was this? How did he get me in this?
Mm-hmm.
But you're learning as you go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that old school mindset of like,
Take it from a guy that's
You
been a
can-
black belt for 20 years. He
You're
would be
like-
like, I'll tell you all about wins and losses.
and I think
You
that's
know?
where it comes from.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, you go into the gym, you can have the worst day ever. But like we always tell you, the worst day at the gym's the better than like the, you know, best day in traffic or whatever. You know, it's kind of like you always gonna get something out of it.
People try to say that in golf, but they'll still throw a club on 17 because they fucked up something. You know what I mean? Because it's such a like a mental, and you're by yourself. You're with your buddies, and you're like I do it all the time too. If I play like shit, I'm like, my buddy's like, dude, we're still out on this beautiful course in Temecula. I'm like, yeah, but I played like shit.
Yes.
Like I played like shit, right?
Yeah.
Like. It messed me up a little bit, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I was with my buddies.
Drinking
It was a beautiful
with your buddies,
day, drinking cigars.
That's a good segue into like, you know, we live in this like social vacuum of, you know, everybody wants to look the same. Nobody wants to stand out. Everybody wants to, you know.
Perfect picture for Instagram.
Yeah. So it's like, you have to be a certain way so I can be your friend. You know?
Right.
But
That's true.
But, you know, when I go there, it's like, who are you? I want to know who you are.
Right.
And if I like you or dislike you, at least I know, I mean, that's a true person. You're a true person. But even if I don't get along with you, we get along. So it's not like, and then you have like, I've met my like best friends there.
Yeah.
So after that, you know, we're eating steak. We're like,
That's
we're
what I'm saying. Like
we're
you guys
going
are
to
eating
each
steak with
other's-
the 4th degree black belt
We're going to each other's
instructor.
houses. It's like,
Watching
you know,
UFC fights at each other's houses, like that's
you know, we're
not
betting on
happening.
UFC fights. It's not like,
That's where I was gonna say that
it's just nuts.
Bob came from like a more, I guess, commercial gym. It wasn't that huge as some of these other big ones, but the philosophy, I guess, is more commercial because they want to be that big, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
My first instructor was a very small, similar setup. Like we're 12 people max. I mean, and that's total. That's, as you guys know now, like 4 show up some days, 10 show up another day, and you're like, oh shit, packed class, and then you can tell the intensity of the whole class is just fucking crazy that day, right? And then like yesterday, 4 of us show up and it's lighter and whatever. So that community aspect is the same in terms of we're all just friends. We all just hung out. We would go to each other's houses. We would diet together pretty poorly, but we would make sure that we weren't doing cheat meals and drinking. So we'd go to movies and shit when we were training to drop weight or whatever. Be like, let's go to movies instead of drinking, you know, so that way we take our mind off of it. So like that part I miss and I loved. But the part where, just like Bob said, I showed up, I had to prove myself. No one talked to me for like a month. I had to like, what I thought was like prove myself by like fucking people up in live rolling, and then like 2 months, 3 months later, they were like, dude, we hated you when you first showed up. You were going way too hard.
Yeah.
We knew you were a wrestler, and you were just fucking like, I just get to top, let me start top, and then just fuck you up. Like that, we hated you. No one wanted to roll with you. All the blue belts and up were just like, we didn't want to roll with you. And then I was like, why didn't anybody fucking tell me?
Yeah.
You know, I thought this was
Yeah.
it. And they were like, well, we just, you know, we were a group for 3 years before you came, and we were our good friends. And then you just show up, and we thought you'd be a guy that
Just came and gone.
comes and goes.
Yeah,
but I
they don't wanna
stuck
let you in.
around, like
Yep.
pick up basketball, and then finally they go like, "What's your name? You wanna go grab a beer
Hey,
after?"
buddy.
Yeah, hey, but it took a fucking like seriously like a month where I was like, should I even keep going?
Yeah.
This group is kind of cool though, but like.
It's kind of cliquey, right? That's what the main complaint in most social settings, like a CrossFit gym.
And then I went like a
Jiu-jitsu.
solid year and a half, 2 years of like competitions and just grew, and they were like my family for like all of college. And then it died out when like it dies out. Like there's no clear leader like Leo saying like this is what we need to do to keep going for 2 more years, 5 more years or whatever. And it's just like some people just left, and then it just slowly just faded away.
Yeah.
Like people move, people this and that, but there was no foundation. You know, like the home base wasn't there.
Now, like, don't get me wrong. It's like I'm not into like participation medals and everybody's first place, and I'm not talking about that. That's not what I mean. But it's like trying to remember where you came from is one of like the hardest things possible. That guy that's probably a little bit out of shape walking in for the first time, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to see myself. That was me, and I was intimidated, and I was like I want to walk out. Like, I don't think this is for me. Everybody's flying around like doing whatever, or jiu-jitsu. Everybody's like, dude, I don't think I'm that flexible. I don't think I can do this. So all this negative self-talk instantly when somebody walks through the door, like, dude, I was there. But it's hard to show them the value of what I found if I don't be like, hey, let's go hit some sleds, you're gonna die, but
you have to
Give you props at the end of it.
It's because like for Ian, like a month they didn't engage in trying, like what Bob's saying. I think
I'd show up every day and just I think
that is the difference. Is like
that's hard for somebody.
Yes,
like,
someone might be weird and they're uncomfortable, but everyone's uncomfortable. But the difference is people engage to at least.
What if I just had to simply do what Leo has us do and shake hands and hug at the end of every fuck? You don't have to hug, but we all fucking end up hugging.
Yeah, usually just bowing, shake hands type of thing.
What if I had to do that on my first 30 days?
Yeah, and you're like, this is...
And guys were just like, hey man, nice work today. And like, I would feel more entitled to go back the next day.
Dude, it definitely breaks down walls. You can't escape.
If you walk in a CrossFit Sun and like people know your name, it's habit now, but it's like it's almost Tourette's, right? It's like I'm just talking to whoever between classes, and then you see Ernest does it, or all our coaches do it, and then someone like walks out the door. They're just walking, and then see you later, yeah. It's like a Tourette syndrome, but it feels good. It's like I'm not. I didn't earn myself.
Checking in and out of FixFitness.
I didn't lift the most amount of weight, so then people are gonna give me a special attention.
Right. It's like a see you later because we want to see you later.
Yeah.
Which is a weird.
It's true though.
Which is a weird dynamic.
And it is true. Mark I always hear him at the end of classes say, "See you tomorrow," right? Because the goal is come 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Not like
you can't
you're
lose.
Be fucking sore because we fucked you up.
Yeah.
We'll see you. When you're done being super ridiculously sore, or we'll do it again tomorrow.
That's putting them to the test, right? They have to live up to some sort of expectation. Like you have to be crazy enough, to roll for 2 hours or to do a crazy WOD, and it's not the case.
And I think that gets into a lot of weird self-esteem issues that people tend to have.
Oh, sure.
Like you're giving someone value.
You know what you just brought up, Bob, that made me think a lot. Like it sparked this idea because asking you that question, like, what do you think the difference is? And when you talked about it, what I got from it, which is just a brand new thought for me, is that not everyone's going to love everyone in any community, right?
No.
And it's like what we learn,
we're still on this together.
We're learning some real life valuable shit because we've been going 10 years, like for me, before even the CrossFit Sun was official, like close to like 11, 12 years. But what we've learned is that we're okay. And we're honest about being like, dude, you're fucking kind of annoying me, and we're like oil and water, but we can coexist.
It's respect.
It's respect, man. You've been here just as long as I have, or we've been coming to the same classes. It's not that we have to fucking have beers with each other.
I'm not going to try to change you. You have to want to change yourself. So
and that's hard to do because in any sport team, there's going to be even Kobe and Shaq with all the shit coming out. They've talked about how much they hated each other. Kobe would say Shaq,
but they respected each other.
They respected each other
together.
And
that's where I was just at LA Fitness, and there was a legendary Powie wrestling coach, and he was like chilling near this cycling thing. He just got done. No joke, 7 to 8 wrestlers all walk in, and he hasn't even coached them. They're all fresh, like sophomore down. He retired. He's not, but he's still around, and they all know him. Every single fucking one of them individually walked up and shook his hand and talked to him like,
shit.
Hey, good to see you. And he gave him shit, like, hey, you guys work better, but not be goofing around, kind of shit. And like, all of them did that. I'm like, that's what it's that was respect, right? Like, there's the hierarchy you're talking about. So that's the same thing. If you saw, if any of Leo's students, I've seen him in public. When I met him at the Starbucks, some guy was just talking up to him, and he was like, that was my old former student. That guy's still fucking new to go up and be like, hello, Leo, handshake, how are things? You know, so it's like, that kind of order, it's like not even preached. No one says, Leo doesn't say that has to happen. That coach didn't say you have to go up and shake my hand. It was just like that was all respected.
Isn't that important for socialization? Because one of our 3 pyramids of or columns or whatever pillars of health is the social health. And it's like Bob was saying, like, we now, even though it's not a pecking order, like you're a black belter now,
or that's my boss. You know, it's like,
dude, it's like, this is my gym buddy. We, you kind of piss each other off for whatever reason because it's normal. But we've been working out in the same hour for the last 3 years. So if I see you at Starbucks, it's not like that, like, hey, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? There's that respect of like, hey, how are you doing? Are you going to the gym later?
That's what you're saying. And if you have like, for those guys, I lasted there a month and pissed at my first gym and pissed them all off. But they were still like, well, this guy's still showing up. He's still saying hi.
Yeah.
Oh, he must be okay, right? Like, and then a month later, or months later, they finally tell me, like, oh yeah, you're an asshole when you first started. Oh, well, thanks. Like, I didn't know. And like, oh no, not you, your personality, but like the way you trained. And it's like, well, why didn't you fucking tell me that?
I think that's what Bob's trying to.
There's no hierarchy.
I felt like I needed to do this.
I think.
I was like, I thought that's what I needed to do.
That's what Bob is saying. I think is that now, because how we run CrossFit Sun and now Compel Jiu-Jitsu is just the same values. Is that, like, instead of waiting for like a month to tell you you're an asshole, it's like you kind of know right away, and like, we're okay with you rolling like this. We just know now. It's kind of like you're upfront with your bullshit, right? Like, you don't have to pretend.
Just call me out day one.
You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Just be who you are.
And did a purple belt put me down in my puppy dog plate? You know, you take like a puppy and pin them down. Like, stop.
Yeah.
A couple purple belts did that to me. Yeah. And I was just like,
does that need to happen? Yes, it does.
Absolutely.
You know, unfortunately, it does.
And the blue belts were looking to the purple. I was like, thank you. Someone put this puppy dog to sleep for a little bit. He needs to go in his crate. You know what I mean? Like, you need to calm the hell down.
But it's like, what I want is, I want to show you the value of what I found.
Right.
I want you to like it as much as I do. So I need to help you try to see it the way that I do. Because you might see it as a weird perspective. But then I want to see it the way you see it. Because I want to know.
That's what's so interesting with that belt system, man. It's
like a catch-22, right? It's like, it's got so many perks and benefits. Because at a certain point, I talked to Leo and our whole Compel family that does CrossFit. I'm like, I wish CrossFit had a belt system.
You've talked about that. Yeah.
But then
I still think we should do it for FixFit somehow.
But there's still that pecking order once you have it. So there's like, it's good, but then it can also be an evil.
Right. If we're brown belts or black belts, and Bob's a fucking right there, right? Because he's been there from day one. A white belt could turn to Bob and be like, "What am I doing with this sled?" And he can help him.
But then, like Leo says, as much as he loves the tradition and he gets it, he's been a black belt for 20 years and whatnot. It's like, what he told us on day one, and with bringing all these CrossFitters that never tried jiu-jitsu, he's like, you know what, the belt, it's just there to keep your gi on.
Love that.
Right? And it's like, wait a second, with all this like pedestal prestige, and he's just like, dude, it's just a belt. Calm the fuck down. What you're gonna get out of jiu-jitsu is way more than a fucking belt, a title.
Yeah, I mean,
and then it's like it's mind blowing, right? Because there is value, there is tradition, there is.
But
all
it
of that.
speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's a testament of the commitment you put in.
There you go.
To jiu-jitsu.
You put in the work, not because you fucking did something like you
and
won.
Nowadays, nobody has commitment on anything.
I still remember my friend Peter was a purple belt, and I remember being like, I'm a year and a half in, and I've passed him a few times, whatever. Multiple times during the week, we'd get paired up, and I'd go, fuck. Like, is today the day that I'm gonna actually pass him or actually get something done, or is he just gonna fucking tool me the entire time? And 90% of the time he'd tool me. And it's like, there's that pecking order. Like,
he was a black belt, you said, or
purple?
Purple, yeah.
But he was a purple for like 2 years, you know. And I was like a fresh blue belt, and then they would always be like,
that's
"You're
a significant jump.
You're a white belt, blue belt." You know, you start
exactly.
off at that. We didn't do stripes, but we'd just be like, it's like basically like no stripe.
You're starting at a 4-year gap.
Yeah,
you've
been here a year. Congrats. And in your head, you'd be like, I got my belt. Fucking cool. I've been training a year. Maybe now that will change when I go up to this purple belt who's, I mean, maybe a 2-stripe because it's been 2 years, whatever. Fuck me up all the time. And you just get this humbling, you know? And you just, because, you feel like you're on top of the world and you got your belts and you're beating up white belts. that purple belt fucks you up, and it's like you just get knocked down a little bit.
That's
You need that shit.
It's a maturity of training, right? And so
Absolutely.
whether it's strength training, or competing, or CrossFit, and now or jiu-jitsu, like we always talk about, if you're like a puppy in CrossFit and you're so locked into fucking every second counts, every pound counts.
I'm gonna PR every time.
But guess what? What we've always tell you is like there's always someone more fit. So if you're chasing the fucking unicorn that you want to be that guy or gal,
be the fittest in the gym and then go to the other gym.
And then now you're
go
at
to
zero.
another gym and at a competition.
Same with jiu-jitsu, right? So if you go in there trying to submit everyone or thinking you're hot shit, even if you're a black belt, there's another black belt that's going to fuck you up. So.
Or God forbid, 6 months, a year down the road, you're going to come over and be like, dude, I hurt my back.
Right.
Yeah, I fucked my back up.
Dude, I hurt myself. Dude, my shoulder, I can't even.
Do you know how I feel though?
Right.
Because now I've been a blue belt for a long time, and journeyman blue belt like Miles talks about, that if I initially joined Leo's gym going, I'm going to commit to once a week for a damn sure. Twice a week's great, 3 times a week, amazing, right? Like, I don't even know if I want to do three times. But when you see a white belt being like, I'm so excited I'm going to be here 5 days a week, what I feel already, like I've rolled with a few white belts now, where I go, I'm not here 5 days a week like you, and you're getting better very quickly. But I'm like actually happy. Versus like if it was me at 20, I'd be like, oh fuck, I better get back in 5 days a week. Because this white belt's getting better than me.
It's the ego.
I'm being left behind.
I'm being like, yeah, I missed something. And like, because I get it. It sparks in my head. Leo goes over a move from yesterday, and I go, I wasn't here yesterday. Fuck, I should have been here.
Yeah,
now everybody knows something I don't.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where...
We all get that. I get that still to this day.
Sure. But what's different for me this time, another back to Mark's question, which is different now, maybe it's just because I've been training long enough to be like, I'm fucking stoked when yesterday, Dang, I couldn't pass Dang's guard. Like, I'm like, she's a white belt. She's 190 pounds less than me. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure, guard's fucking good. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome, dude. She's going to be a badass. Like, if she got sized up with a girl her weight, white belt, at a competition, can you imagine? She would fuck some people up, dude.
Yep.
She's gonna fuck people up in a competition one day. And I'm like, dude, I'm like stoked for her.
She's fucking people up that are heavier than her, and that's...
Yeah. She tapped me on a lapel choke Monday.
See?
She got my back.
Like, no joke. I mean, I'm bobbing her, dropping 200 pounds on her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, I'm kind of giving this a little more, and I'm fucking not passing this knee right now. I'm getting a little pissed.
Working.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, start ramping it up, and I'm like ramping it up and going, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
it's fucking rad.
but at the end of it, I go, dude, she's going to fuck up some girls, man, and that's dope. I love that. I feel that too, rather than, well, she's here 5 days a week. I need to.
It's justification.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing of comparison in social media world and media. It's like that's when we're younger. It's all about comparison, right? Like, man, then if you can't compete with your peers, right? We've
Also,
always justified. Oh man, I didn't sleep right. Oh man, it wasn't my day. I didn't prep. You know what I mean?
Excuses,
like
dude.
That's comparison, though. You wouldn't make excuses unless you have to justify your shit.
We all got it hard, man. You gotta just keep on going.
Yeah, you will have.
Well, that's where Miles.
Plus, it's a testament to Leo's teaching.
That's what I was gonna say. Exactly what I was gonna say. Miles said these white belts are so fucking lucky for getting this much detail. That's what he told. That's basically the sum of what he was talking about after class with Leo. So these white belts are getting info that I was, as a black belt, going, oh shit, never thought of it that way. And then I'm sitting there too, like as a stupid blue belt, going like, I've learned this pass a million times, but not this way. So for Miles to say that as a black belt justifies it even more. And then also what Leo has to recognize is that those white belts are coming in with the CrossFit Sun mentality of, I'm just here to learn. And I'm not here to beat everybody up kind of thing. Because if you start getting people off the streets, you might have to show them like, hey, this is how we do it here.
Yeah, take it easy, killer. We're not here.
Right.
You're not going 100 miles an hour to get somewhere you don't even know where you want to go.
Right.
You're here. You're learning with all of us.
Right.
It's like,
and that's why Joel and Dang and all these other white belts are like even Monty. I remember
excelling so fast.
So fast.
Dude, were you there that day when Leo was trying to explain? keeping a good base. So you're in someone's guard, their legs are wrapped
Good
around,
base.
and he's like trying to like, you need to flex your core, your abs.
Obliquus.
And then right when he said obliques, the whole gym, because they're all, I remember that. It was like, I was so proud because like all these people were like, dude, we've been training our obliques.
That was great.
They're all educated, you know.
Yeah.
That was the best.
I
Think
think
I can't say it enough.
Outside people would be like, what the fuck is an obliquus?
all I know is 6-pack abs.
We're just so lucky
We are.
to like have him walk around and have like enough space for one, and have the group of people we have, and
That's the thing.
him
the
walking
community.
around, being close enough just to like move my wrist just a little bit. Like I'm just off just a little bit. And he's like, no,
He's a
no,
perfectionist,
like
dude.
this.
His
And
detail.
I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can get the choke now because I was
Just
holding
in-
lapel wrong.
Just in warm-ups, he's like,
Yeah.
you're not planning that wrist right. And I'm
Yeah.
all, fuck. And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm crazy with details. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm more mad at myself that I'm fucking not doing that
Hit
yet.
the
It's
hips
been
up
2
during
months.
during the shrimp. It's like the little things like that.
Always.
It's
The cool thing about like being
Perfect practice.
the benefit of being so traditional, because like his lineage, right? We're like he's
crazy.
he's
Bam, bam, bam.
1-2 removed from Helio Gracie,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which
Like-
is nuts. So like Miles, black belt and respected. Leo took his Wim Hof seminar and competitor, but when Miles took his class. Leo, for him to have that resolve, that tradition, the values of, he's like, I'm not changing shit. I'm going to teach you what I teach. I'm going to show you all these annoying ass details. He's not trying to show you some fancy ass bullshit.
And he's not
like,
trying to show you, like, this is what I do with white belts. He was like, this
Exactly.
is my class.
This is it. You're in my class.
You're in my class,
And
yeah.
I'm going to give you all the details I would give my white belt students. And I'm not going to change who I am because I have a black belt to try to impress.
Yeah.
Which I thought was super cool because some people would kind of crack to that, trying to compare and,
Yeah.
and
Do you
be like,
think-
oh, you're taking my class, I got to show you all the magical secrets
Yeah.
and flying arm bars, like I thought that was super amazing, and Miles appreciated
One of the
that.
best classes I've ever
Yeah.
taken.
But
Right?
like
Hands
the
down.
proof is like in the pudding when you watch Leo work or when he rolls. If he's not rolling with you, like tearing you up, but like he does the things he preaches. Like all the little things you see, you're like, oh, that's where my hand was. And he still does it. He still does it. 20 years in.
He's just mastered it. That's
Yeah, I'm
it.
just like,
You want to talk repetitions,
There you
especially when
go.
you teach it.
yeah,
I mean,
What I learned from this,
it's just so fun.
going back to that question I asked you guys, then that helps me think of like what is the difference, because when I started before CrossFit Sun, we had mats, and my brother and I, we were doing jiu-jitsu and MMA. So we learned from the old school days, looking at buying DVDs and YouTube videos if there were any, and then we would train off of that like CrossFit mindset. Like, we don't need a fucking black belt instructor because we have all the internet and our resources, and we can learn 20 moves.
Gracie
in one
online.
session.
Why would we go to the gym?
Yeah, it's like we can learn 20 different moves together and drill the hell out of it versus going to a class and only learning one move, right? And so through the CrossFit experience, it's kind of the similar thing. It's a melting pot. So we're pulling every fucking resource we can from Olympic lifting, powerlifting, and this and that. Even when we were training by ourselves before Leo came in, we were doing the same thing. We're looking at DVDs. We have all these online programs. And the biggest difference that I realize is that you can't replace like that third, fourth generation tradesman expertise. You know what I'm saying?
Can you imagine if you brought in if you started the CrossFit gym and you were like, I'm partnering with a guy that's had CrossFit for
40 years.
Can you imagine?
25 years of teaching.
There's no creating.
Exact. That's
It
what
was
I'm
just
saying.
like-
Like CrossFit is a melting pot. So
Right.
there's no tradesman of like I've been a CrossFit gym owner for 30 years. It's unheard of. People just crossed the 10-year mark. So
Yeah, exactly. That's that's FixFit, right? That's where I gave you the E-Myth book about baby stage, infant stage, toddler
exactly.
stage, and you're like, oh, it's a fucking baby. You're creating it, and we want it to be this full-grown adult that you're just releasing out to the wild, and you're like, oh shit, dude,
That's
this
a
thing
good
can't
point.
even crawl yet.
It's a good point because that's what I'm seeing with FixFit and CrossFit, right? Because you think you can find all the resources. This YouTube era, we can look up how to fucking do anything.
Yeah.
So nowadays, people follow all these movement specialists, PTs. They think that they can learn from people that can just watch a couple of videos to fix their knee pain.
Yep.
And like, oh, why do I have to go to Cairo, or why do I have to go
it's
to
not
PT?
working.
It's not working because
After a day.
Yeah.
And same with me when I did jiu-jitsu. I could be honest, even like talking to you guys, and we did all no gi because we're like, oh, these pajamas and all
Fucking,
this bullshit. Gi still.
It's a wrestler holding me down. I don't want to be pinned to my back.
And so you start
now
to.
I love it.
Now that I'm like learning again, and
Yeah.
then now realizing how inadequate and the experience that someone has that's a master,
Yeah.
right? And he's not even a master in terms of being a red belt or coral belt or whatever, but like 4 straight black belt. But like me thinking that I have all this experience in jiu-jitsu on my own, I know nothing. And not only I'm learning the wrong way. So if you think strength training, anyone that's following an online program and studied every video, and you're the keyboard warrior that knows all about form and technique,
got this all done in 24 hours.
but guess what? Have you lifted with some of those fucking top lifters that have been doing it?
Good point.
Like Jim Wendler was like, dude, 531. People are like, oh, it doesn't work or this or that. Like, he's like, dude, back squat for 20 years and come back and ask me a fucking question.
You have to lift uninjured for like 30 years.
And now people are gonna come at him saying,
"There you go."
Because people are coming at him like, dude, this doesn't work. It's like, how long you've been? Oh, I'm sorry.
You followed my 6-week program.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you've been back squatting and pressing and deadlifting for 3 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
but then it is a hard learning curve.
1 minute of black belt.
But that's what everyone wants, is instant gratification.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I'm learning, and that's how our training's evolved as well, and programming and coaching.
Yeah.
We're starting to teach in curriculums, kind of like the Leo model.
Yeah.
What's different? Every gym, jiu-jitsu gym, and the teaching style that I've been to, they show you 3 or 4 random movements in a day. But like Leo's teaching a curriculum.
Yeah.
We've been on lesson 1 for like 2 weeks. Then now we're on lesson 2 that is off of lesson 1.
Right.
And so even for us across the sun, we're teaching like 2-week waves of like, we're just snatching for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Right.
We're just doing butterfly pull-ups for 2 weeks. We're just doing handstands.
So what a benefit to have Leo in your gym to go, show me the teaching style of like long term mixed with you showing him business side of like, this is how we build a community. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It really is
very unique
to a lifestyle. Because it's not like I'm in a hurry to get some arbitrary somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere. It's like I want jiu-jitsu to be part of my life for as long as it can be.
That's what I'm saying with my old gym. It was like, there was never ever a conversation of like, when does this end?
Yeah.
Because with Leo, he'd be like, when the fuck does it ends when we die?
What
he's like, I want to have a heart attack on the mat. He's like, not right now, but that would be the dream.
The old one was like, is this place going to shut down in like a couple of years?
Yeah.
He was like, are we going to move soon? Because the lease has got to be up. And Leo's like, I'm going to be on the A mat until I die. You guys can follow me wherever the fuck I go.
Wherever it happens, whatever happens,
we'll be on the grass.
I'm going to have a mat somewhere, and you guys are more than welcome.
Just go on the grass outside.
That is the epitome of the third pillar of optimal health for us, is the mental health. Because what we're talking about is the mental health, is that you feel connected.
Right.
You're always striving at challenging yourself, being a student, because you're constantly learning within a group of people.
Right.
So it takes away the ego, so you don't have to be so stressed out and anxious that you have to prove to someone that you're not, because society, that's Instagram and all that. So this is exactly what we're talking about, wrapping it up in terms of that. It's like, this is what we're benefiting from the whole FixFit journey.
Yeah.
It's because like we're connecting with someone like Miles with Wim Hof. We've had him on a bunch, and he's a black belt. And we have fucking Leo, and we have CrossFitters. We have people from all walks of life that are all in the same damn boat. We're all learning together. That should be the life versus like an end goal.
Yeah, and then what? And like the proof that we are in the same. I mean, I know we're kind of beating this subject with like a dead horse, but the proof that we're all in the same boat is when Leo has those question sessions, right? It's not questions of things that they saw outside of Capella Jiu-Jitsu. It's what we've learned that I have a question on. I'm like, because like I asked him a question on one of his guard passes. I'd be like, yeah, but what if I can't get my elbows inside his knees? And he's like, I'll show you that right now. So it's along the lines of those questions. Everybody's engaged. Everybody's there learning that stuff. It's like, hey, how do you get out of something I saw on YouTube? This. Everybody's right there talking about the same stuff that we're doing. We're all.
Have you guys been on like live rolling death rolls and like the anxiety of the actual physicality part? Like,
Fantastic.
We've talked about it before with FixFit for like a bike sprint. It's comparable to that, where you get sled push bike sprint, where you get off of it and you get that like, oh shit, right? Like it gets spiked real high. And have you guys like messed with that at all? With I know I've tried like some Wim Hof stuff with it, and I've talked to Miles about it, but I want to get your guys' take on it.
Like the 6th roll in, it's awesomely horrible. I guess it's the only way to describe it. It's like almost I have like nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
All I want to do is like I'm just trying to protect myself, not to get tapped like super fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like no other experience I've ever had.
I feel like bringing back our buddy Steve Farber as a guest, right? One of his leadership principles: if you don't experience,
Mark's dropping all our guests of the
this
past
is the
year.
reunion, right?
That's fucking great.
Isn't
yeah,
that
he's
how-
like dropping Steve Farber, and we'll
Well,
talk
'cause
Robin
it's- 'cause
Koenig
I'm-
in a second.
Because your
I love it though.
your question sparked that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, shit, why am I putting myself through this learning curve again? Because CrossFit's and Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I know what
Yeah,
a
very
deadlift's going to feel like. I'm going to make it
You
or
knew
not.
what the bike felt like.
I know what a bike sprint, I know Fran, CrossFit workouts.
We had an
gonna feel
episode
like.
on that. Like you,
I know what a marathon's
Right.
going to feel like. I know all these things. So, but in reality, I've been having rolling anxiety. I wanted to run out the gym, and one time was last week. I was stressed out. Whatever, all the factors. And after one roll, and then it was someone else's turn, I was like, thank God there's 3 of us round robin. I like had to step out for a second. And I never want to get to that point where I actually have to leave, because then it becomes habit. But going back to Steve Farber's leadership principle, if you don't put yourself in the OSM, which is an oh shit moment, then
how are you ever gonna learn?
You can't grow as a leader.
Right.
So now the benefit of going through all these new anxieties is that I'm challenging myself. If I get comfortable lifting the same heavy deadlift, which would normally scare me, so what? I'm not getting any better.
Right.
Getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
That's-
But are we living it? Because you
No.
can be real uncomfortable in CrossFit for a long time.
I'm a fucking.
But I'm so comfortable with any CrossFit workout now.
Dude, I'm a fucking walking example of what you just said, because my thing would always be like, I know what a roll feels like. I know that if I need to tap, I'm gonna fucking tap. I can even Leo even says too, if you're just tired, fucking tap and switch.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I'm with all of my friends. We just talked about that. Like,
Yeah, we're
why
not
the
impressing
fuck
anyone.
would I have an anxiety for?
Exactly.
Right.
These
But
are all friends.
we talked about that with the bike before. You had a whole episode on like, you know, channeling your inner bitch, really, of like, we're just gonna fucking, you're gonna have to learn what it feels like to spike it up.
You want to die.
Yeah.
And you want to die, and then it becomes comfortable the more you do it. And I was like, Wim Hof spikes it up, and then maybe I'll do that before I roll. And so, but the way that the I was telling Miles, the way that the rolling is set up is that how Leo does those controlled rolls, which is great. Like, there was a time where he was just like, Bob, get on Ian's side, squeeze him, like head under the arm over
Like
the
the
top.
worst possible position.
I'm like, I
Yeah.
fight my whole fucking
Yeah.
everything to get Bob not in that position. He's all start there.
Mm-hmm.
And Bob squeeze him until he, taps?
Mhm.
He said? And I was like, oh, like that's where I got
Anxiety.
it. Like, I go,
Then Ian
shit.
escaped.
And then Ian just tried to get out.
Yeah.
But that's it. There's no like
And then
threat
he's,
of
but then Leo,
submission.
right. And Leo's like, if you get tired, tap, and then, you know, or I'll stop you guys after, not even a minute.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was like, felt like, is it 5 minutes gonna happen right now? And it went fine. But like the anxiety spiked, like, oh shit, dude, I'm not gonna be able to get out.
That's what I like
I'm
about.
like, Bob's not gonna kill me.
That's what I like the
Leo's not
tradition
gonna let me die in here.
Mm-hmm.
of jiu-jitsu is that he's pushing us into deep water,
Right.
and it's like a different way of
And
getting
it
people
sucks.
uncomfortable.
It does suck.
And I'm not okay with it. As
Right.
as many CrossFit workouts that I've done, that people would say it's stupid. You know,
Yeah.
that amount of time you did that, and it will hurt a lot, which
Right.
it does. But again, no more anxiety on that front, because it's like I've been there so much. But
Right.
one fucking miscellaneous roll because I'm like stressed out or dehydrated, it's like I'll like
Yep.
lose it.
The 5th roll.
I would lose it.
But here's another one is that I got to roll with Miles. And this is why I messaged you and I said we need to roll with Miles more, because the Wim Hof fucking gypsy, the enigma that he is, stops in the middle of my roll and goes like, wait a second. And I
Are
go,
you breathing?
And I go, what? And I'm like on my knees and he's like, are you breathing? And I go, yeah, nope, I'm not. I like I was like literally like I had to think about it. I thought for like a full second and
I
went,
should be.
no, I'm not. And he goes like, I haven't heard you take a breath. Like, he's fucking listening to me breathing because he's not obviously not trying
And he's
to kill me.
Wizard at that.
And he's a wizard, right? And he goes, yeah, I haven't heard you take a breath in at least 30 seconds. Are you just squeezing? And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not crushing you because I don't even have a hold of you. But he's just like, you want to move me, so you're holding it. Try the breathing out Hickson thing, blah, 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 blah. And then I went, holy shit. Then I paired that with when Leo's making us do that shit with Bob's on top of you. All right, now switch. Those are 30-second sprints, right? I'm not breathing at all during that shit. I'm just, it's like hopping on the bike. Give me 10, 15 cows and just, and then you hop off and go, ooh, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, well, I can't even push myself to the level on any kind of CrossFit water anymore. I can't even do that. I can still get there with sleds. That's why I love them so much, a little bit.
Right.
But I can't even get there.
But then there's that, and then there's 5-minute rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a pacing workout in CrossFit versus hop on the bike and give me 15 cows in 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are like two different ways to spike your fucking heart rate. And all I've been training, because I don't get to do the long rolls with you guys, is that spike.
Mm-hmm.
And then class is over. And I go home like exhausted, dude.
Yeah, but you feel good.
Totally. I'm like, yeah, I feel fucking great. And then I like sleep better that night. I wake up in the morning like, what happened?
That's why people fall in love with CrossFit in the beginning, because you get put in that fight or flight. And most people don't get that in their average workout and their average daily.
They don't even know what that is.
They don't even know what that is, because like unless you've been,
it's totally new.
Yeah, to the point of where you're tasting like metal in your mouth and you want to throw up, or your ears are like ringing and you can't hear.
The ear ringing thing.
Like, you don't get that. You don't get that going to 24-hour fitness.
Claustrophobia goes up in that tiny ass room with
you can't
fucking
breathe.
pajamas on, like you were saying.
Yeah,
like,
You be like, oh, you're getting that adrenaline rush for the first time. Be like, damn.
In your life.
But what I was telling Miles is like, I don't know how to separate those two. If I'm doing Bob's on top of you, squeeze him to death, and then Miles is like, let's roll for 5 minutes. I'm like, in my brain, it's the same shit.
Isn't that cool? Because it's coming to fruition, right? Like all this stuff we've started with this FixFitness Guys podcast is that we wanted to build the Avengers. We said that, I think, in day one.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Avengers. You know, like we have fucking Miles, and we have Leo, and we have all the CrossFitters. We have all these people that are like leadership, like Steve, and the life coach, like Robin, you know, Koenig. It's like...
Yeah. Excited to go. Excited to be there.
We're all on the same team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all have our different expertise and skill sets, but now we're like integrating and evolving it by adding in like for your example of Miles and telling you about breathing. It's like how like Robin's quote is still the best. Like, why live, you going from dysfunction, which is where I think society lives, and then you're like, yay, we're functional, but why fucking live there when you could fucking be optimal? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And now we're like dabbling finally this year,
Right?
because we have the network, the relationships of these people like Leo and fucking Miles to be like, all right, let's, like, this weekend's event is fucking unheard of. And even in his Wim Hof group, he's like, how many people have tested the ice bath for performance? No, he's like 5 people out of all the instructors. And now we're gonna test shit like this to get, you know, it's like it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like we've come such a long way.
Get to dabble.
But now we're at our infancy stage of building our Avengers team. This is like a fucking finally Avengers 1, even though there's like 20 Marvel movies, right? And that's what I'm excited about, because now we get to fucking dive into the real meat of it. We don't even know the potential.
No, that's
we don't even
weird.
know what optimal is, and we're just like, oh, the breathing helps us so much. Oh, the FixFit stuff helps us feel so much better. But we're like, we still don't even know how this shit works.
Right.
It's like, just to change gears a little bit, have you ever thought just randomly about the timeline of your life, right? And the choices that you made to be in this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then one
Fucking Yoda Bob here, dude, man.
Coronavirus put it in perspective.
One different decision, turn right instead of left. You know, you turned around instead of going forward. You would have met a different person.
Yeah.
You would have gone a different direction. You would have, you know, gone to a different gym. Me, with all of this, came down to one decision. One. And that was to go to the beach that day.
Yeah.
One decision.
Yeah, Matt Dominguez, shout out, brother.
Like,
Brought his
like,
buddy Bob to the beach.
You have,
Just want to go to the beach.
like, a lot of times you have multiple friends and they're all in the same group. So you have a lot of different chances to go in a weird direction, right?
Yeah.
But thinking about it, that was my one time.
In the 4th degree burn that you got.
If I didn't do that, I would have not met anybody, and I not be sitting in this chair.
That's so.
I think about it all the time too, because I had my application to Cal State or Cal Poly SLO got denied, and I was supposed to go there with my buddy from high school. Like, we both were like, where to go?
You got denied?
We both got denied.
Oh shit!
Greatest thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah.
At the time, we were like 17, like fuck.
Yeah,
dude.
the whole
we were,
world's ruined.
Life is over.
we took a road trip up and saw the school.
Wow,
We were
that's heartbreak right there.
And here's the other thing too, is there's a college up there called Moore Park, and they were like, why don't you go to Moore Park and then transfer to SLO? And we thought about that. Moore Park is a wrestling team. You and your buddy can wrestle. And they talked to us. The Moore Park wrestling team was like, yeah, we'll take you guys. You know, JC here. And then I remember his aunt and uncle were like, we have this little fucking like RV thing. You guys can stay here. And we did it. We did it for a weekend. We went up to the school, drove up to SLO after, checked it all out, and went like, yeah, it might not be a bad idea. I rerouted my application. This is the turning point. Got denied from SLO and went, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I got accepted to Long Beach. Maybe I'll go to Long Beach. I got into the dorms, everything, all signed up. And then I get an email out of nowhere that's like, you can reroute your application anywhere you want out of these schools. And San Marcos was on there. And I remember Googling every single school that was on there. Like, I don't even know what this one is. East Bay? Where the fuck is East Bay? Where's Dominguez Hills? I don't know where the hell that is. So I'm Googling them all going, East Bay's in Oakland. Fuck that. Dominguez Hills, somewhere in LA, I think. Fuck that. I'm not going there. And then San Marcos, San Diego-ish.
You're still local.
Yeah, and you could rewrite it for free. That was the thing. And I'm poor. So I'm like, all right, send it there. And then they immediately, like the next day, are like, yeah, we'll take you, because it was just starting, really. I mean, 2007. So it was like still new-ish. And got accepted and went like, now I'll go check it out. And then went and checked it out, and I was like, what the fuck? San Diego's awesome. It's fucking like beautiful weather and shit.
And that led you down the path that me and Cairo and the
Yeah, Marie was already gonna go there. My fucking roommate in my dorm is still my best friend to this day. Like, all that shit. Training jiu-jitsu, kinesiology. I didn't know what kinesiology was. My counselor told me to do it. It's a new program. Join kinesiology. Wouldn't be a chiropractor. Wouldn't be in this room.
Then, like, the stuff that you, during the time when you're growing up, the stuff that you've loved, right, always seems to come back around. You loved wrestling, you loved jiu-jitsu, but you took an enormous break. You never thought you would get back into it.
No.
No.
Man, I
Dude,
didn't know.
13 years removed from me for jiu-jitsu.
And
now
now-
there's a
and
jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
gym.
Didn't know. Like,
in your gym, of all places.
In literally come to fruition and what I've always wanted, because I went from being, hey, you know, I'll dabble in strength and conditioning, because I wanted to be a chef. Talk about fucking life changes. Like, I went to the Art Institute, right, and to do the orientation, the whole nine, and
I
then
dabbled in weird shit like that.
and then I was like, hey, I want to be a chef, or, you know, this MMA thing's kind of cool, but I can't compete. I have kids. It's not going to make money. So I looked at the Miramar College catalog, or City College catalog, and there's like, on the bottom it said, hey, make $20 an hour being a personal trainer. That's all it said. That's all it said.
You're like,
And then I
rich.
emailed Rod, and we're still good buddies. You know, he's the mentor, and he's the guy that runs the program. And I was like, dude, I you know, I have kids and whatnot, and I'm broke, and I qualify for all this government aid. I'm like, Art Institute, I could be down $100,000 after this is done, or I could just dabble in this.
I heard culinary school's expensive.
$100,000 I would be down at the end of it.
shit.
I'm like, how many chef
To be a
jobs are out there?
sous chef, yeah, you're not going to start at
You're
that.
not starting there. And then so I went to Miramar College just to dabble, to be a strength and conditioning coach for MMA fighters, to be a jiu-jitsu guy. And then that, you know, led me into fitness, and then
But looking at that
anatomy.
catalog was like the day.
And then now, so like I always joke with my members, like, dude, you know, if I like, we would have all met, in my opinion, like, it's like fate, right?
Yeah.
But can you imagine our lifestyle? Like, I'd open like Sun Restaurant, and we'd all be fat as fuck and whatever. Like, but it could have.
That was my thing. With being a chef, I would be so much bigger than I already
But
am.
no, we
now
think
to eat
about
it.
that all the time, because that one little bit. If I was a chef, none of this FixFitness guys and the whole nine would ever fucking.
It's just such a sobering thought of the power of decision.
Yeah.
Or
Bob.
And what's crazy though
or
is that
indecision.
they're mindless. If you think about it, you were like, I'm just gonna go to the beach, and I went, I'm just gonna submit
And
that
then,
application.
Like a lifetime.
I'll just email this guy
Well, it's
Rod.
like, I'll just email this guy, see what the fuck's up.
It turned into a lifetime friendship.
Did
I
you
never thought
think,
I would
like,
ever
really
do
hard of-
jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
I never like.
No, there was a
like,
thought
whatever.
behind it.
Like, I liked working out, but it's like.
That's
they
what's
own-
funny is-
they own a CrossFit gym. You should come and check it out. But like,
You
I'll
probably-
give you a free class. I'm like, okay, I don't even know what that is, but whatever. let's
Sure.
go.
You know, funny story, and Bob whether remembers or not. So we went to Coronado. I remember this vividly. My buddy Matt Dominguez. one of our really close friends. We talked about it. Like we used to go to Vegas all the time with Bob and Andrew and I. And then the first time, we're like, "Hey Bob, like nice to meet you." And it was hot as fuck. And we're like, "You want some sunscreen?" And Bob's like, "Nah, it's cool. And then like, dude, he was sunburnt the fuck
so
up.
The infamous 3rd degree.
And then the
4th degree
second
burning.
time we met him, we still do this. We hang out at different spots because we like to do shit outside the gym.
Yeah.
The second time we met Bob, we were meeting at a Mount Carmel High School track because we were gonna like test them out just for funsies, right? And then so Bob being a bigger dude, he doesn't know what CrossFit is, and he probably doesn't like running. No one likes running. And then I just kept like telling Bob like, dude, we never do this, all right? So like, CrossFit isn't about running.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, this guy, he got sunburned as fuck hanging out with us. Bad experience. 2, the first time he works out with us is a 1 mile test on a track, and I was like, this dude's never coming back.
Yeah.
Look where he is now.
I remember that, dude.
He's never ever coming back.
Damn, dude.
That's what's interesting, Mark. You probably put way more thought into culinary school, and I put way more thought into going to slow.
I was ready to go, bro. I was the only.
And the mindless decision is the one that fucking pans out.
But it's not just the mindless decision, right? So you made this decision that you not necessarily had any passion for. Maybe something you thought in your mind that you can see
It
yourself
would be
doing.
a good, yeah.
Right?
This seems like the best idea for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But all the little decisions you had to make to keep on track of something that you didn't really want to do in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
it's paramount. Because anything could have been like, dude, as soon as it got hard, you're like, this is not for me. As soon as something, you failed one thing, this is not for me. I'm going to go back to this comfortable thing. It's if you think about it in the timeline of people's lives, it's nuts. The people you meet, the people you connect to, the people that that you're comfortable with, like maybe you've known before, or whatever, if you believe in past lives or whatever.
But
it's just, it gets in
what's
crazy.
What's
crazy
weird
stuff.
is like the one that feels more comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go the opposite route of the uncomfortable part, right? Like you didn't want to run the mile. I didn't want to move to San Diego, and Mark didn't want to take a fucking college class.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want to go to college.
I don't want to go to college.
I wanna go be a
I
chef.
like cooking, so I'll do. Cooking's not college, even though it's $100 fucking grand. That's more college than Miracosa would have been. But like, go that route and look what pays off.
Yeah.
Like it's just insane.
So like like when Jeff Motto was here, bringing back another
Oh
guest.
shit!
Damn,
You want to go through the list here,
bro? But
We had a lot of guests.
When we,
I love it.
It's been a year, 52 episodes.
Fucking love it.
When we talked about, when I asked Jeff, this rings out to me because I always try to pull, like, everyone's got a life nugget.
Yeah.
Or one of those, like, nuggets of info that you just take home and it hits home.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I asked Jeff, like, dude, because he shared his story about, like, when you go blind, and he went down the rabbit hole and he was heavily into drugs. And I was like, what brought you out? Remember that?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, most people like us, we don't like to talk religion or faith. I get it. I come from we're in a big community of people that are accepting of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, for him it was faith and Christianity that got him out of the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So that resonated with me. Like, some people will call what Bob's talking about like fate, coincidence, right? It's like, oh, it's a coincidence that you went to the beach. Or for me, for me, because now everything that has happened, I feel like blessed. That's why my tattoo
Put a
says.
smile on my face, though.
My tattoo says live blessed, because I believe that, like, what got me out of drugs and what got me out of this, or what got me to not go to culinary school seemed like a heartbreak.
Fate.
It's fate, but I think for me it's a faith-based mindset. Like, I have a bigger purpose with this FixFit thing, and all those shitty things that happened to me in my head at that point led me into a FixFit because I feel, or a purpose is that I have a gift of seeing movement and helping people with that, because I was destined to do that.
Yeah.
And if none of those negative things in my head happened, and I wouldn't be here today. I'd be cooking food and make people fat and give people diabetes. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where I'm just kind of relating on that front, where it's like, it's not a coincidence. To me, Bob went because he had a bigger purpose to share fucking mental vomit and Yoda fucking Bob here dropping
I'm gonna have
fucking
a lot of trouble.
Confucius and shit from Bob from tonight and all his other episodes.
I know this episode I put 1 year anniversary, but what do I put after that? I don't know. What do I even put inside? Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks to all the guests. We should fucking count that up.
Yes,
Bob's been here 3 times? 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking dope. And you guys had kebab shop that day.
Dude,
we all had
did.
kebab shop that day.
Full circle.
That's
man.
right.
Full circle.
Dude, I learned so much from Bob, to be honest. Like, we hang out all the time, but, like, even today when he's talking about shit, like, he reminds me of, like, what Leo teaches him. You know, it's all shared info. But what Leo taught me, which is really cool and is very fit and fitness and life applicable, is when Leo told you that, like, I'm the type of, like, professor, instructor that I believe, like, I'm not going to carry you.
Mm.
I'm going to share every fucking thing I know because that's what I'm supposed to, but I'm not carrying you.
Right.
And I was like, that makes so much sense because being a gym owner, a coach, FixFit, right?
Yeah.
We can show you every fucking drill that we have found to be efficient and case studies that we found to work.
Yeah.
We can't fucking make you do the pistons every day.
Right.
We can't make you stand up every 25 minutes from your desk job to do some fucking anchor presses. And then it's like shit like that Bob like reminds me of because he puts it in some certain way. So it's like, you know, it's pretty unique.
That's where I think the next step will be, I think we're still missing physical therapy. You know, the people that we can't treat post-op and shit. And I want to have someone in my office like you have with Leo.
Shout out to Hoadley because Hoadley's been a supporter from day one, and he's my, you know,
He's a homie.
He's a homie, but this might encourage it. One of those decisions, right? That might spark it. But he says he has a physical therapy buddy who's all.
That's
about
right.
it.
That's what I'm
See?
saying. Like, let's
Shout him
fucking
out.
talk to these people.
Whoever the fuck you are, get your ass, contact us. We're gonna fuck. I know Johnny's gonna listen because
He's a homie. I always say physical therapists suck at running a small business, right? So if that's
who doesn't though, get the fuck out.
That's
of it.
true.
But anywho,
Not
go
saying
ahead.
I'm a fucking
No.
example.
I just want to throw that out.
But
there.
like, if I have that
If you please.
that physical therapist come in,
I want to be hot again.
that's like I'm so fucking good clinically, in terms of like
Thank you.
our philosophies are the same, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like
the Avengers team.
Yes,
We
again,
don't have to
here we
have
go.
the same
Where
skills.
he goes like, no, this person is in pain. I need you to get rid of the pain. But if this person's in pain because it's a fucking ACL repair and it's stitched up, you need me. Because
Post-op.
you and I both know, like, post-op, we ain't touching that.
we don't fuck around.
Chronic
with
pain, we don't know. We really want to fuck with that. But, like, short-term stuff and movement problems, like, that's us, bread and butter, right? So, like, I want seeing you and Leo and hearing this whole thing was, like, someone comes in clinically like that, like, no, don't overthink it. It's simpler. It's this.
Yeah.
And then I go, hey, paying your rent, doing your taxes, running a small business is not so bad, man. Marketing yourself, branding yourself, don't worry about that. I got you.
Yeah.
It's like this. You just do it like this, man.
Yeah.
Come on the podcast, get yourself a fucking logo, you'll be fine, man.
Yep.
So it's like, I want that blending.
Yeah.
And I think, because that's the one piece we're missing.
And how many times do you talk about even like integrating someone like Robin Koenig, right? Like helping you guys out, working with all the different. Still, right? It's like that's the Avengers.
Every week, man.
You have to have that life mindset of being a student and knowing that you might be. Leo and I joke around all the time. It's like he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm a whatever. Let's just call it from a label. I'm a black belt in CrossFit.
FixFit.
But outside of those
Not CrossFit,
specialties,
but CrossFit too.
but outside of the specialties, we have to have that student mindset. Like, I don't know shit. So if someone asks about post-op, someone asks about the structure in chiropractic care, someone asks about acupuncture, someone asks about breathing, it's so amazing that we can all stand on that same fucking island and be like, these all the same people are here to help. But if we don't know what to do, I ain't gonna bullshit you. You're not gonna bullshit me. It's like, dude.
Well, here's Mark's latest referrals have been, well, fuck, like, what I'm giving you is not, there's something blocking it. Ian will unblock it.
I'll talk about this case. So usually I will work with people 99% of the time. I can get them to move without pain.
Right.
Because it's a chronic issue, it's a movement imbalance, and I was like, you don't have a shoulder pain, you have a movement problem. So this one, client, I haven't usually asked for him, but they probably won't care. But this person, I did every FixFit, CrossFit movement thing in the world, all the progressions and all the activation, and the pain wasn't gone. Right. So I told him straight up, honestly, he's like, this usually works. So what you have, I have no jurisdiction.
There's a structural problem.
I have no idea. Right. And so you must go to Ian because that's a structural issue. And if he can find something great and he can give me feedback to help him. But we're on the same team. And if it's some anxiety thing or breathing thing, gotta be like, dude, you gotta go to Miles because I'm not dealing with this shit. I'm not Wim Hof certified. It's like a whole different experience.
Here's our missing chain. What if you send someone to me and say, Ian, I think there's something structurally wrong, and then I see it and go, oh, I can't even help this.
Yeah, you're like, oh, well, I adjusted you. The bone structures are fine, but there's
this shit needs stitches.
Yeah.
You know, and a repair and a shot and rest.
Yeah.
I haven't had to do that yet, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But what if we do? There's cases like that all the time. I need to bow out because this joint's inflamed, and I'm like, I can't help it. Me and Brittany can't help it. Like, we just had a guy today say, like, I need to get an epidural in my neck. And I was like, I wish you would have done it 3-4 months ago.
But we're here now. What do you do now? Like, you have to move forward with the case study.
Go
right?
get it and come back, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, once even that simmered down, like, Brittany and I are still done with getting the pain gone. You need physical therapy now. You need FixFit. You need this or whatever.
But that's more post-op shit. Like, I'm not dealing with medication in terms of FixFit, you know?
I mean, we're talking, like, numbness down an arm.
Yeah.
Right? So if Mark's like, oh, let me do, like, here's a lat firing thing, and my arm's numb the whole time. Mark's gonna be like, Ian, what the fuck? And I'm gonna be like, I don't know, he needs an epidural shot.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, if they do the epidural shot and say, you need 6 weeks of PT,
no,
what the fuck is the PT doing?
That's the thing is, like, when
so
you
I
go
need
through,
to know.
You being a doctor,
yeah,
chiropractic care, and then for me going through the college route and learning all the laws and shit like that, what we're boiling down to is that, you know, from a legal standpoint, it's just scope of practice, right? And what we're saying is we're really good at staying in our lane, but we don't want the scope of practice to be a limiting factor to help someone.
But okay, forget the laws. It's also time.
True.
Because when you give people FixFit stuff, yes, you spend the hour with them or whatever, but when you give them the homework,
true,
they have to go do it on their own.
Yeah, because we can't carry them like Leo says.
Physical therapy is time under that tension, under their guided tension or guided observance. So that's why else we have to have a PT in this podcast to be like, hey, we send you somebody that's got an ACL tear and they just got it cleaned up. When can you get them back to us?
Yeah.
Because if he or she says, we need that VMO to fire, Mark's like, oh, I want to give him a piston, single leg piston. And the guy goes, no, you can't do a piston yet because the quad got sewn off and sewn back on the bone and there's nerve damage.
Yeah.
And Mark's like, okay, what do I need to get the nerve regenerated? He's all, quad contractions. That's me.
Okay.
Quad contractions. And he needs to do them 3 times a week and just squeeze and hold. Mark's going to be like, I'm not fucking sitting there 3 times a week with this.
I'm not clinical in PT and post-op, no.
Right, I'm not going to sit there and watch their quad contract for 3 years with a TENS unit on all this other bullshit. We need a PT to do that.
Yeah.
But we don't want to send them to Kaiser. No offense, Kaiser. But, like, you know, there's some offense.
A little bit.
A little bit
right there.
A little bit.
Again, the FixFit mentality is that we're fixing fucking problems that no one wants to talk about. That's why episode 2 with Bob, bringing it back again, is that we wanted to talk about anxiety, which is so taboo. So if people if people have problems in this health and fitness, and for us now optimal health, our 3 pillars, then we're gonna fucking make waves. We're gonna do the shit that is unheard of, which is like a PT's working with a CrossFit coach and working with a jiu-jitsu guy. The jiu-jitsu guy's working with a chiro, and they're all okay. And an acupuncturist, and a leadership, and a life coach. Like, fuck yeah, we are.
Dude,
why can't we?
It's like a one-stop shop, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine a PT too, because how many fucking people came up to you and been like, "Can you look at my finger?"
You wanna talk weird philosophies? Come talk.
And what you said was great, because Steve Farber asked me.
That deep end.
Because like Steve said, Steve Farber, my mentor, leadership guy, you know, look him up, Farber. He just started his podcast. I'm so proud of him. And so he was saying, like, you know, what's, like, he's been to chiropractic care and he's talking about you, and he's like, what's Ian's, like, end game? Because it's like, he sounds, like, when I go to him, it's just like another chiropractic experience. And I said, there's a bigger picture for us. It's like, what you want is you want to be the facilitator. Because like you said, and I said, like, anyone can coach CrossFit, anyone can be a chiropractor, but there's a bigger picture. It's because we know that's not the end all be all.
Right. Like,
we want to be able to be self-sufficient that the CrossFit gym's running, because you have so many benefits of CrossFit, you have so many benefits of chiropractic care. But what you're trying to do is what we're trying to do with FixFit is, like, be the facilitators. Like, someone has a problem, we want to fix that fucking problem. I don't care if it's anxiety, depression, you know, mental health, whether your knee hurts, whether you need whatever, but we want to have that vendor's team and that mindset is like, I'm okay to say, hey, so client, I tried everything in my power. I didn't do shit for you.
Yeah. It's
But
limited.
Here you go. Go to fucking, you got fucking life issues and you need this, go to this person. You have fucking this problem. Like, why can't that work like that? It doesn't make sense. No one's like stealing each other's clients. It's like, it's even better to refer.
What I always thought and what I appreciated was, as you two grow and as you do the things that you do, you're going to get to a point where somebody has a problem and you want to be good enough to where we fix you so you don't need us anymore.
100%.
I'm not going to fix you just enough where I'm going to send you back out into the world of your sport.
Right.
And you're going to jack your shit up again and you're going to be right back into my office. I always got the idea that that's not what you guys want to do.
No.
The FixFit concept, we said we don't want you relying on us.
Here's to supplement both of your points. I have a friend that has been coming to me for 2 years, off and on, like not consistently, like every week or some shit, but like pops in here and there, and he always wants like his lower back like cracked, right? Like fucking like, oh, that one didn't crack as bad, and I'm like explain to him every time, like, dude, what's flaring up your back? Get to that, like,
What's causing it?
What's causing it?
I want to help you, brother.
Golf, like twisting, sitting, snowboarding is causing it, and skiing and shit, like sitting too long. I'm like, okay, then this isn't like one adjustment thing that's gonna fix it. And I'm not saying that, to Bob's point, you need to see me for the next 4 months consistently and then it will fix it. I'm telling you, you need to strengthen your core. And when I tell you that, I'm just like your MD right now telling you need to lose 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah, it's like, you need to eat healthier. Bye-bye. What does that mean?
Do I just eat healthier for a week and then I don't get coronavirus? Like, no, it's fucking, like, it's going to be a lifelong change, and I understand that. And if you need help with it, let me know.
But you're not carrying the motherfucker.
I'm not going to fucking hold your hand while you try to figure out what it means
never work.
to turn on your core, let alone strengthen it. Because I was like, first of all, your core's not even fucking on, let alone how can we strengthen it, right?
Yeah.
He takes a break from me. Finally comes in. He's fucking trimmed. And I'm like, what are you doing to lose weight? Are you eating better? Not really. And I go, okay.
What?
What's going on? Oh, I went to a physical therapist. And his physical therapist is kicking my ass. And I go, what do you mean? And he's like, this guy said the same thing as you. Strengthen your core.
And he's like probably making him work.
And he's like, I get my ass kicked with these fucking core workouts and this and that and
that's
blah,
awesome.
Blah. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, oh, by the way, to backtrack a little bit, he got diagnosed where it was so bad at one point where I go like, dude, this is so bad I'm concerned, where you need to go get an MRI. I think it's a disc bulge, and it's just flared up really, really bad. He goes to get an MRI, and they're like, you have stenosis, which is even fucking worse than that.
Yep.
Spinal column's narrowing, so every time he bends forward, which is, as Mark knows, you start hinging from your lumbar spine instead of from your hips, you press on your spinal cord, and he gets numbness down his legs.
Okay.
Gnarly, right?
Yeah.
What is golf? Bending at your lower back, and twisting and propelling a ball forward, and he's good, so he's fucking hitting the ball really far.
Playing a lot, I bet.
He's tall, he's got fucking genetics against him, so his dad has bad back, whatever. So I'm like, dude, go get an MRI. Gets an MRI and stenosis. Okay, so they got to do injections, medications to get him to calm down before physical therapy. So he's not seeing me in this time. He goes to this guy, and he comes back, and he's like, it's only been like 4 or 5 sessions, I feel fucking amazing. And I'm like, no shit. It's like a fucking diabetic person coming back to you and being like, I lost 15 pounds, and I don't have headaches anymore. And I can get out of bed, and I'm sleeping better, and I'm not snoring, and it's like, no shit. Like, you finally changed your lifestyle.
Yeah. He
comes in for a tune-up because he just sat in the car too long, and he gets the best adjustments he's ever got in his life. And I'm like...
Nothing changed.
Right. No, I mean, like, he stands up and goes like, I've been waiting for something like that for so long, but I was like... Like, for fucking 2 years, I've been telling you, if you want this adjustment, you have to fucking almost earn it. Like you come into me to fix this problem, and it's not going to happen overnight.
No, because we're not here to fix problems. We're here to share knowledge.
And then he's like, oh,
fix your own problem.
Best adjustment he's ever got. And I'm like, because everything's actually stable now, and the inflammation's down, and so on and so forth. And then I haven't seen him since.
Yep.
I'm like, perfect. Are you still going to? And every day now and then I see him.
He's not relying on you.
You're going to PT every week.
I need that good pop, doc, in my back. I need that good pop.
And every month or every week, he's still going to PT, getting his ass kicked in
The
core.
fix. He needs.
So now, what is his next thing? Is when PT, and this is where I want another PT in house. Is
Once
okay.
he hits the plateau of the PT
You're
core,
plateaued with me. I can
Correct.
only get you to do bird dog, plank, bridges here, and then you're discharged now. Follow up with me every month. But what is he doing in 4 weeks in between that? Is he doing bird dogs and planks all by himself inside plank? And I doubt it. Right? So he's relying on that guy now.
Yeah.
So that's where he needs to transition into like a FixFit or a CrossFit, son, where now I'm applying my core to functional movements, and now I don't have to rely on you as much.
I want to. That's exactly like the next year's mission. Let's say.
Yes.
Is because of what Bob talked about, what you just talked about, is that like. What happens is we're so reliant on the quick fix, and then the people, the practitioners, the health practitioners, can't help but to feel some sort of like, I saved you.
Yes.
And then the client can't help but to feel that I went to chiro, or like that guy went to that PT that killed him with core, and now like, oh, you're my savior.
And the only reason he was a success is that he didn't go, well, I'm going to stop talking and going to Ian because he's not fixing me with 6 adjustments a year.
Exactly.
Right? He's like, there's something there, so let me keep going. And then he finally went, like, oh, I need to, like, now I have structural proven why I need to go strengthen my core. Yeah. And he came and reviewed his MRI with me, too, and went, like, what the fuck does this mean? Because they didn't explain it to me. And I said, it means exactly what I've fucking been saying. Actually, you just put an exclamation point on it, because if it was a disc bulge, I'd be like, of course you need a stronger core. But now that it's stenosis, this is something you're going to live with the rest of your life. You have to have some kind of program the rest of your life.
And the program has to evolve, because like you said,
but it has to evolve as
the PT is going to run its course.
Yes.
The chiro is going to run its course. The CrossFit is going to run its course. But when you start going like, then you have to find a golf instructor that's going to run its course, because he doesn't understand stenosis and whatever. PT.
So how does it evolve?
So here's the thing: is I'm gonna use this example, and this is where we're moving in. Let's talk future now.
Yeah.
So like Slava, we haven't even had him on the podcast, but we need to get him in here. You know, he's so well known in the Thai massage world. He's certified.
I know. People. I don't know why I haven't had him on.
He does run clinics and all of the above, right?
He talks anatomy more nerdy than I do.
And it's cool because
we're probably going to go back and forth for days. But
and so he was telling me the story.
Boring podcast.
On Monday or Tuesday, he came in. He's like telling his clients and telling me, he's like, this patient or client was on the route of getting surgeries and all this other stuff, all these different pain and ailments, and then he was prescribed weighted lunges, and it fixed everything. You know, so that the mindset currently is that like what we're doing as individual health practitioners, or even like Bob, like, you know, being a member and a client, like just someone that is interested in health and fitness.
I personally use it and helps me with all my stuff.
And so here's the evolution. Everyone's going to go to, like, let's say we're all in the same boat. We're on the same island. We're prescribing let's have the universal fix. So what happens is that they come to me, you, Slava, Miles, Leo. It's just the proof. Like the guy that did weighted lunges, he now knows that there's something to this.
Like,
like your core buddy. Mm-hmm. He went to PT.
Did bird dogs and was like, oh, there it is. It's like, yes, run with this.
But that's
there you go, motherfucker. I've been saying this for
planting the seed, and also proof of concept. Like any business entrepreneur project, this is proof of concept, right? So you might be able to relate to that. But now the evolution is that it doesn't end there. The proof of concept is just the proof of concept. Now you have to find the appropriate team. So if you want to continue to powerlift, run, you have to have like a Slava who understands mechanics and running, and he does soft tissue, and he's connected to the, you know, FixFit mindset. Like that's going to be the evolution. Is don't stop at that number one thing. It was like, oh, this chiro will fix my back pain.
But okay,
you know, or this CrossFitter help my shoulder pain. You know,
here's
like
my thing,
it doesn't.
Yes, they need the evolution, but they need to be told, here it is, right? They need instant gratification. So if it's like,
simplicity is the thing we've been talking about.
Exactly.
And that's what people don't understand is like in the base level of explaining to a normal person,
right?
It has to be so fucking simple.
I'm not going to go to CrossFit, son. It's too high intense. F45, oh, my neighbor got hurt there. Orange Theory, I don't like treadmills. It's always gonna be some fucking thing.
CrossFit,
Well,
so
what do you like?
yeah.
Huh?
What do you like?
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll build
I don't
it
like
there.
anything. I like
We'll
taking
build it
pills.
there,
What
bro.
if they say I like taking pills and it just goes away?
Great.
Right? So
So some people you can't save.
that's where I've said from day one, because we don't know where.
We just saw an ex-member.
Unfortunately.
We just saw an ex-member. Probably won't listen to the podcast. Any of you does.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yes.
But it's like, oh yeah, all this FixFit stuff was great, but because I asked him like, hey, how's your shoulder pain? How's your knee pain? Because that's what that person was dealing with. And then he's like, well, I'm like, my doctor said he's gonna give me as many cortisone shots as I want.
Like, thanks, dog.
And I'm sitting there smiling like, and he's like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna go to PT, and the PT's probably saying it's like 6 months to a year, and it's like more focused. And I'm like,
Well,
Ooh, I think I know
like
who you're talking about.
playing.
Talk after.
This is confidentiality.
Confidentiality.
In defense of the doctor, I like.
No, I'm not
maybe-
blaming
no,
the
I mean,
doctor.
like, no, maybe,
I'm blaming the system, bro.
Bro, I can like maybe
Bob
put
can say whatever
myself-
he wants right
Yeah,
now.
Bob, say what
Like,
the fuck you want. Say it, bro. Fuck Kaiser.
Well, okay, well,
I'm just kidding.
Fuck
it's like-
HMOs.
I
Dude,
can
CrossFit Sun doesn't take insurance, so fuck him.
was like I can only imagine being a doctor, and then you have the same people coming in. I'm sure you guys have dealt with them before, and be like, "Dude, I got this shoulder pain."
Uh-huh.
Like, okay. So
Uh-huh.
the first time you see him,
Never heard of it.
you send him to the chiro, or you send him to the FixFit, or you send him to a PT, right? And then they're really good for about 2 weeks. Their shoulder becomes better, blah blah blah. And then they stop. You schedule them for like 8 weeks of PT, but they only go for 2. I'm like, dude, I'm good.
Discharge myself.
Yeah,
Yes.
they go. And
I don't
they
need that.
They go and they jack up their shit again. They go
Yeah.
back to the same doctor. I would be frustrated.
Sure.
And then eventually I would get to the point where, you know what? I'm just going to give you cortisone shots anytime you want.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Because they're not going to...
Here's another point to Bob's.
They're not going to do what I need them to
Just
do.
have-
So I'm like...
Just had this conversation earlier. The guy literally went. He went an HMO route.
Mhm.
Not a guy, a person.
A person. There's no guy.
person.
This imaginary
Maybe it was a female.
person.
I can't remember. This person went into the HMO route. Let me try chiro. Let me try some acupuncture. Let me try massage. Try physical therapy. All this stuff.
Mhm.
Day one, I go, bro, you need an MRI. This shit's, your arm's numb. Like, why would we not want to just fucking zap this thing with no radiation and fucking find out where this source is coming from? Because I can tell you right now, I can reproduce it, and it does not sound good, right? We are 4 months later. He finally got an MRI. Finally sat down with ortho, and they go, you have 2 options. 3, we can do nothing, obviously,
Yeah.
and you can just keep doing what you're doing. This is not debilitating, and you're young and you're healthy. We can slice the front of your neck open like fucking Leo and put an artificial disc in there.
Brogance.
And
what she got.
she got an artificial disc.
I don't know, but they did the.
I thought it was
cut through-
fused.
They cut through the neck, the front of the neck. But go ahead.
It's
sorry,
the safer way to do it now.
I digress.
They're putting an artificial
Sound
disc,
like it.
which is a foreign substance or a foreign object, into your neck, and
Wait, they replaced the whole vertebrae?
the disc space.
Oh, so they shove a wedge in between the vertebrae.
They put an artificial disc in there, actually.
Is that what it's called? So they
Yeah, that's
essentially
what it
put
So
a.
wherever the squishy
they-
gelatin is, they
yeah.
put in a new one,
Wow.
which
That's
is
got-
still
that-
foreign. It's not your fucking. It's not your
yeah,
body.
Yeah,
right?
is your body gonna attack that shit later?
And the guy goes like, the ortho tells him like, oh, there's 3%. That's not good. Like bad results. And in my head I go, that's not bad. And then he goes, I'm thinking like 0.3% would be good. Like 3% is still a fucking lot. And I go,
for
I
your
mean, it's
neck.
your neck. So I go, absolutely. Me, I'm out. I'm like, I'll
No,
stop
don't
whatever. I'll stop golfing. I'll stop jiu-jitsu.
I'll find
stop
a different
working.
way. I'll find a different love to work
I'm out, right? And he goes, 3% is 3%. And I'm like, that's a fucking great point. And he obviously works with numbers. So I'm like, they work with numbers. And I go, that's great, all right? And he's like, or we can do a cortisone shot or epidural. And I said, I swear to God, from day fucking one, I said, zap him with an epidural. It's all gone. I guarantee you this will be gone, and then we can do the fucking fun stuff after that.
Yeah, the work, the actual work. To
The
fix,
conservative
to fix,
part.
To fix
Let's get
the,
it moving. Let's get fucking
Yeah.
strength around it. Brittany could needle it and get some nerve generation going. We went 4 months. We worked backwards, right? But to Bob's point, that ortho does not get paid to sit there and talk to him.
Yeah, right.
He didn't do an exam, so he doesn't. He's
Mhm.
reviewing charts. That's a consult. It's free. He gets paid something for the cortisone, but he told him after the cortisone, let's say he's like, it's not going to fix the problem.
Yep.
And I went, correct. He's right.
Yeah, it's not
It's
going
going to simmer down symptoms, but it's not going to fix the problem. And I said, but his next response wasn't, here's your solution to fix the problem. Physical therapy, strength.
There's no time.
He doesn't have it.
That's where Dr. Fung has a video out there talking about the problem. He's a doctor, and he does, I mean, if you don't know Dr. Yeah, so he explains, he explains why the healthcare system's fucked because of that. And
But-
it's the system's fucked up. It's not that doctors are evil or chiros are evil or CrossFit trainers are evil.
Right. That ortho's not
It's the
evil.
structure. How
But
many?
what else does he have access to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many? Like, think about a CrossFit class. Your goal.
It's just way easier next.
If you go
And then you come back in 3 months, I'll give you another epidural.
Yeah.
You come back in 6 months, I'll give you another one.
It's flawed.
You're my patient for life that way.
It's flawed.
It's not flawed as much as it is. What else does he
Kinda
have?
sad.
What else does he have knowledge of referring
It's a
to?
little sad.
True.
Because
True.
but then here's the devil's advocate. What if someone walks in and goes, "Dude, I have a stem cell, and the stem cell I'll inject your neck with will cure this for life, and you won't need surgery."
Yeah.
Do you think the ortho would listen to that?
Of course, there's hope.
No,
You don't think so?
But then, like Bob was saying,
I
like,
think so.
oh, I just give you a one-time injection for how much do I get paid? This, and then I never see you again.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Do I
so-
want to do
Yeah,
that?
there's that. Like,
What's the pros and
find
cons
it-
there,
Yeah,
though?
exactly.
How much do I get paid?
Got it.
How
Got it.
much? I know. Like, you're guaranteed 100% you'll never see this guy again.
True. It's like someone coming to CrossFit Sun and be like, "Hey,
conspiracy theories, man."
No, because
Oh,
it's
here
true.
we go,
'cause
medical world. I'll go for
Because
days.
someone comes in, right, and they're like, "Hey, they just released a new pill that if I take this pill, I would have all the health benefits." And then how am I going to be like, "Yeah, you should take this pill so you don't sign up
Would you
as
ever
a
look into
member?"
the pill?
You know, like,
You'd be like, I can't look into the pill. I'll go out of business.
yeah. So there's
Not saying the ortho thinks that, but at the same time, be like subconsciously, he's like, fuck this stem cell. I'll
He
wait
has to
till an
sell
insurance company
he
tells
has to
me.
sell his service.
Right. Because
That's-
this guy's also an HMO, which means
Business
like
101.
you're very limited to your scope and what you can do to this guy without authorization. So if he's like, oh, I'm authorized to give this guy a stem cell that could fix him for life, but how much does it pay me before I decide if I want to give him
And
that?
it's not a reoccurring client, and it's not a constant cortisone every 2 months.
Well, then you get into the
Exactly.
whole debate on there's no money in the cure. There's only money in keeping you alive long enough for me to get to your Medicare.
Yep.
So it's like that's a whole nother podcast.
I could go for days on conspiracy theories for that.
Well, you know what? It's one of those things where
It's just shitty. It's kind of sad.
you know, like the thing about where CrossFit and Jiu-Jitsu, in my opinion, suffers as a business model is that you can't monetize community.
Both intimidating, wearing weird clothes.
One's less clothes, one's too much
Less
clothes.
clothes?
Yeah.
And one's too much clothes.
Yeah.
One or the other. But if you think about this if you're a CrossFit owner, CrossFit goer, CrossFitter, if you're a Jiu-Jitsu owner, and if you're a black belt or a Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Think about this. Why your Jiu-Jitsu person, you know, your professor, your dojo is kind of always going to be struggling. Why your CrossFit owner is always struggling and the coaches are always moving on, things like that, is because you cannot monetize the shit that people need. Which is, like you said, you can't monetize, like Dr. Funk says, you know why it's not catching on? Because you can't monetize fasting. It's literally, don't eat, motherfucker. You can't fucking sell you can't sell a 12-week program by not eating. You can't sell supplements on not eating.
Fast 16 hours a day.
Exactly. So, like, I can't monetize. Community is what the fucking magic, the secret sauce,
Well,
like in
plus-
Saved by the Bell, you know, the secret sauce of the fucking pasta sauce.
Yeah.
You can't monetize community, and therefore that's why the
Well, it's-
society and the big pharma you can't capitalize on.
It's just so hard to get around people's misconceptions or preconceptions of what they want to hear. So you're telling him that he has to strengthen his core, but he didn't want to hear that. So it
Right.
took him forever to get there. What he wanted you to do is snap him a couple times and then I have no pain. What the shoulder guy wanted to be like, I'm gonna get this cortisone shot, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna be that one person where it just magically makes my neck better forever. So they have this preconception, but they don't hear what you're saying.
Instant
so it's
gratification.
so it's like, so they leave, and they don't even remember the conversation.
Because they're searching.
And then they'll be back.
Like if you have